Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge, and
I'm Ashley Sledge.
let's talk horror. Today, I'm joined by two friends of mine that have been friends of mine for a very long time, and I'm so excited to have these two out here with us. Over here to my right, left, I don't know how it works here in the StreamYard world, I have Haunted Hippie, and down here I have Michael of Video Creep. Before we get started, I do want to say that I do have their YouTube links down in the description, so make sure you're subscribing to these guys if you have not yet. Before we get started with our list, Kylie, Haunted Hippie, Kyrie, thinking of our next daughter.
Kyrie Irving.
Our next daughter.
What can you tell everybody a little about your channel that hasn't checked you out yet?
Okay, so on my channel, I have a lot of different ongoing series. I kind of kicked off my channel doing like reviews of big franchises. So I did Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Child's Play, Scream, all of that. And now my focus is more on this new series that I'm doing, which is originals versus their remakes. So I've done like Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. My new one coming out is Carrie vs. Carrie. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I just started my first ever video game series. So I'm learning how to play horror video games.
That is awesome.
Nice.
What about you, Video Creep? What can you tell everybody about, what can you tell the soon to be creepers about your channel?
I don't want to follow Kylie. That was good. That was so good. Well, I'm a stand-up comedian, so I do that with my channel. I just talk about horror, and like I'll make videos about like which horror characters you should bang because you're most compatible with, or like if I think whatever final girl's zodiac sign mixes with whatever their zodiac sign is. Like that's kind of my vibe. I just joke around a lot on my channel, and I do a lot of horror news and stuff.
And
Awesome.
it's so awesome, man. I love your channel. I've gotten the chance to work with these two before on my first horror movie. If you haven't checked that out, check out the playlist on my channel of my first horror movie, and you can watch our episodes together. The chat is going crazy right now, so everybody in the chat that's welcome. I see Linton's here,
Hey,
Steve,
everybody.
Linking, Marshall, Shaim, all of you. Bare Bones is here, John. Hi, everybody. Daniel's here. What's going on, buddy? We're so glad to see you all. Hey, Anna's here.
Anna.
What is Bill Wants? How you doing, Anna? So what we'll do, just like always, we don't know each other's lists. I don't know Haunted Hippies or Video Creeps. I don't even know Ashley's. We don't know each other's. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be ranking our least favorite horror remakes from honorable mentions down to one. One thing I didn't mind, and I want to make this known, I don't know if she did, and I don't know if they did. I didn't put any sequels on mine. How you like? I consider Candyman 2021 a sequel. That will not be on my list. That is not a remake, in my opinion. Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, those will not be on here because those are sequels. They are not remakes. If they have been a sequel, even though it's been a period of time, they are not on my list. So I wanted to clear that up. If they're on your guys' list, that's awesome. They're not on mine. So I kept mine strictly hard remakes. I'll say this a couple times throughout the night. I do want to stay active with the chat. If I miss anything, I'm sorry. You never have to super chat. You never have to pay money for me to put you on here and talk to you. So we appreciate the donations, but it's not required. We will chat with you all night, I promise. Follow along with us. Give us your list as we're going. So I will kick us off here with my honorable mentions. Both of them are from the shitty year of 2008. My honorable mentions are April Fool's Day and Prom Night. These are two that I really enjoyed the originals of these, especially April Fool's Day.
I liked the original a lot.
Of April Fool's Day? Oh, so did I. And I remember the old cover where they had the girl with the knife and her hair was done up in a noose. Like I loved that movie and I loved the ending, but the heart and soul of these two movies just weren't there for me in these remakes. So these are two movies that I gotta say really let me down, but not to the point of some of these other ones. So Ashley does not have any honorable mentions, but Haunted Hippie does. You want to give us yours?
I do. Prom Night is actually one of mine as well, but I have to let it be known I haven't seen the original yet. And then you're gonna be so mad. One of my other honorable mentions is Child's Play from 2019.
I knew someone was gonna have this. I knew it.
But it's not on my top 10 list. It's not one of the worst. It's just a remake that I really don't enjoy. And my only other honorable mention is Friday the 13th, which can I ask you guys a question, like how you guys put these on your list? Because for some of these, like I put them on my list because they like were not necessary or they're just bad movies. Because some of them, they might work as a remake. Like I think Friday the 13th, it's fine as a remake, but I think it's a terrible movie. So like, how did you guys decide which movies you were going to put?
The way that me personally I did was I went the kind of opposite of what you did. I went with how much I love the original and what this one is in comparison to that. I didn't go by the measure of what it is. Like I said, some of these, like one of mine in the top 3, I don't really dislike it.
Yeah.
But when I put it against what the original was, that's why this one went so high on my list, because the original means that much to me. So that's where my allegiances lie here. So what about you, Creep? Do you have any? Oh God, I can't call you Creep. I gotta call you Mike, man. I'm sorry.
You call me Creep, man. It's cool.
What about you?
I built my list the exact same way, like just like what the original was comparatively to like what we got in a remake and stuff. You brought up Friday the 13th. So I personally don't like the Friday the 13th remake. It didn't even make my list or anything like that. But I do have a certain layer of respect and love for it because I feel like it ushered in a new generation of people who really dig on Friday the 13th because of that movie. Like, you know, Diego is one of those guys, like loves Friday the 13th. Yeah. Not my Friday the 13th, but it got him hooked in. So I give it the pass for that.
And my thing with the Friday the 13th remake, I adore it. I think the first 15 minutes is the most gruesome shit in any Friday movie. And I think Jason is the scariest he's ever been in this movie. But I don't consider this a remake as much as a reboot, because to me, this is Friday the 13th 1, 2, and 3 all smashed together. So that's why I kind of don't really consider it a remake. Before my love, we get into your number 10. I want to catch up on the chat a little bit. J Dev is here. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
J Dev likes the Friday remake. I agree with you. Steven says, no, Child's Play remake was awful the first time I watched it, but I kind of came around the second time. Okay, I almost canceled you too, Steven. I thank you so much.
I love the Child's Play remake.
I also enjoyed the Child's Play remake.
My tongue got caught, but that's how upset I am that nobody likes it.
I agree with you, Parker. I totally think that it's a reboot instead of a remake. We stand Creep for Horror Creep. Listen, this is the dude down here. It's so funny because when I put this up on social media that I was going to have you guys joining me, it is some of the best feedback I've ever gotten. I had people that are like, oh my God, I love Video Creep. I love Haunted Hippie. Like, they were so amped about this episode just as much as Ashley and I were. Like, people I don't think they understand how close all of us are in our community and how much we talk every day, and we always are there for each other. And so to be able to work with people that are not only great influencers, but great friends of mine is always amazing. So we want to thank you guys one more time for taking time out of your Thursday night to come and hang out with us. Thank you. And we love you guys very much. Linky says, I could do a top 10 horror remakes easier than a top 10 worst. That's why we did this. That's totally why we wanted to do this one, because the top 10 was so much easier than the ones that we dislike. So, and then Steven says, I watched the Friday remake in theater, so nostalgia, but I got it in like the middle of my Friday ranking. That's fair. Dawn of the Dead's a great modern retelling. I agree. Let Me In is awesome. That's a really good one. I wasn't feeling Prom Night remake. I shut it off halfway through. Don't blame you. Kylie is awesome. I agree. And my dude Nathan is here. This is one of my guys. He's here every week. Nathan, we love you. And he just got a haul of horror movie 4Ks, Blu-rays. This dude is going all out, and it's amazing. Nathan, we're glad you're here. And Shaim, always a pleasure. No, the pleasure is all ours. So thank you, guys. Let's start with our list, and we want to see your rankings, too. You want to start us off with number 10, love?
Yeah, number 10 for me was The Wicker Man. I just felt like it didn't make any sense. I felt like Nicolas Cage he just wasn't on point with his acting. He was all over the place, and he
was more Nicolas Cage than even Nicolas Cage is Nicolas Cage.
I felt like it was almost more of like supposed to be funny, but that's not what it was. I don't know. I just thought it was horrible, and I didn't like it.
I have a strong feeling we'll talk more about that one later.
I kind of figured as much.
You want to give us yours, Kylie?
My number 10. So my number 10 would be the Psycho remake. I finally watched that for the first time. I didn't even finish it because I realized, like, I don't know, probably after about 25 minutes that it was just like a beat for beat exact remake. And I was like, what? Okay, well, what's the point? So, yeah.
Again,
I
have a strong feeling more will be said about that movie here in the future.
Absolutely.
We'll talk later.
What about you, Video Creep? What you got for us at number 10?
My number 10 was like 2019. I forget years. Is Pet Cemetery. I just did not dig on that at all. I think the best part of that Pet Cemetery thing was the fact that they had John Lithgow, but even that is like a waste of our limited time with John Lithgow. He's only getting older, and the fact that they put him in that was like, though I did like him in that role. So
yeah, I think he was good in the role too.
Yeah,
but I did miss the main. You don't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
I missed the accent.
I didn't dig it at all, man. Like, there's something about when you watch the first Pet Cemetery, it's like, oh, this is like spooky. I don't like this at all. And in this one, it's like, wow, I don't give a shit at all. Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate to sound like a broken record, but we'll talk about that movie more today. My number 10, funny enough, is 1998's Psycho. It's another movie that, again, this is not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. But when I go into a remake, I do want something new. I've already seen Psycho, and Anthony Perkins did it a whole lot better than Vince Vaughn. So that was my reasoning for putting that at number 10, is because I have already seen it. So why would I want to watch the exact same thing in color with someone that's not as passionate about what they're doing? So again, not a bad movie. If I say that this is a bad movie, I'm saying that Psycho is a bad movie. And Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho is a classic. So I can't say that this is a bad movie because the premise is the exact same. But it's the most unnecessary remake I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, usually we'll give our numbers and then I'll go to the chat and read them. So real quick, I want to go through and catch up on the chat real quick before we give our number 9s. Nathan says Evil Dead. Nathan, I just talked you up so well, and then you hit me with this bullshit.
That's rough. That is rough.
No, I love you, Nathan. And again, everybody, I should have said this off the top. This is all opinions. You know, don't be shitty. I know I already canceled Kylie because she had child's play on here, but
except for mine.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, exactly. Antana says the Winter remake is bad, not the Bees. God awful.
Yeah.
Anna says The Wicker Man is one of my all-time bad favorite horror movies. I get that. The Wicker Man remake is such a guilty pleasure for me. I love it. Not as much as the original. The original is in my top 15 of all time. And I think that's the big thing. We'll talk about that in a little bit. T. Parker Evans, Child's Play 2019 is actually my third favorite in the series. It's so much fun, creative kills, different tone. I actually feel bad for Chucky, and the score is fire.
I agree.
You could make the argument that throughout this whole movie up until the third act, Chucky is the protagonist in the movie. He's doing what he does to protect his family. So I love that argument there. Nick Cage was just chewing the scenery with that film. I could imagine William Shatner asking him to tone it down a bit. Our buddy Nick, everybody that came here hoping to see Nick, I'm sorry he's not here. He had some stuff come up tonight. He couldn't make it. We will be working together again in the future, obviously. Nick, thank you for stopping by, buddy. I hope everything's okay. Get back to work, kick some ass. And like I said, we will work again in the future, I promise. Linton says Black Christmas 2019. The Psycho remake is hot garbage. Every copy of that movie should be destroyed. Damn, dude, it's not E.T. for a story. He got buried in the desert.
I thought you meant E.T. the movie. I was like,
no. Shiny Pet Cemetery remake is my 10th choice for the reasons that I was let down. I just couldn't hang with it all. Oh, God, we'll talk more about it. Couldn't agree more about Pet Cemetery. Pet Cemetery. I like Pet Cemetery 2 better than the remake. Pet Cemetery 2 is just batshit crazy.
it really is.
It's fun.
It's all over the place.
But all I can see is John Connor the whole time.
No, that era of Edward Furlong can do no wrong in my heart. Like, I love that period of that child's life.
So, all right, guys, I'm going to try to keep up on the chat. It's very active right now. If I miss you, I'm sorry. Just know that I am reading along, and I promise you I will try. So, Kylie, do you want to start us off with number 9?
Okay, number 9. So this is going to be a common theme on my list because I kind of try to actively avoid movies that everybody says are bad. So I feel like I won't have a lot of the classic, worst remakes of all time on my list.
Sure.
So my number 9 is another one that I found to be extremely pointless. It's the exact same thing as Psycho. That would be Quarantine, which is a remake of Wreck. It was so Spanish to American remake, and it's the same thing as Psycho, where it's just a beat for beat exact copy. It's just in English, and there's no point for its existence. It's very boring.
I just had this argument earlier because Train to Busan is coming to America as the last train to New York. I don't mind when they Americanize foreign films, but I love The Ring. I love The Ring. I love
The Ring is really different. That's fair.
That's what I want. I don't want you to give me Train to Busan in English.
Yeah.
Make it different. Yeah. Make it unique. I've already seen Train to Busan. I love Train to Busan. If you're going to do The Last Train to New York, make it do like you did with The Ring. Do like they did with The Grudge. Give me the same bones, but put different skin on it. I want a different story around the same thing. So I get what you're saying. And what, like you said, with Wreck and Quarantine, I don't want to see the same film I've already seen just in a different language. I can read. I graduated 3rd grade once, so I can read. I can do this. So, Creep, you want to give us your number 9?
Sure. Yeah. Sorry, I live in the hood, so give me a second.
Just gotta
it's all good. While he's doing that, Rob says Wreck is good, Quarantine is yucky. Yeah. See, I think it sucks to have them do that. It's just, and especially because we are the people that are horror fans that had seen Wreck first. We know what's happening in Quarantine. The ending didn't get us, it is a bummer, but I get the market for it because there are people that aren't in our horror world that are going to go out and watch it because they see it and they don't know what Wreck is. So I understand it, but it is a bummer to see. Marshall says The Omen. Marshall, thank you for stopping by. And I also did not like the Omen remake for different reasons that I'm not going to talk about because it's personal. But Nathan Mills says Fright Night. And then Sean says all my least, why is it doing that? All 10 of my least favorite remakes is Rob Zombie's Halloween. I love you, Sean.
Damn.
I don't know why it won't show your comment, brother, but that's
I think it's just lagging.
Yeah. All right. So you want to give us yours, Creep, your number 9?
Yeah, my number 9 was 2016's Cabin Fever. I love Cabin Fever. It's one of it's everything about it. I love Boy Meets World. So fucking
Sean Hunter, baby.
Sean, to see him in a horror movie, it did so much to me. So when they were remaking it, I was just like, fuck yeah, Cabin Fever. And then they gave me this just void of all terror, flat as a schoolgirl's chest movie that just did nothing for me at all. I hated it. I love the first Cabin Fever because the fear is derived from this real sick confusion of what's happening, why is everyone all fucked up. I didn't feel that at all with Cabin Fever 2016. I ignore it.
Yeah. And I haven't even seen the newest Cabin Fever. We
knew look at you making good decisions.
See, Rob says Cabin Fever flew right under my. Hey, Art's here.
Hey. We love Art.
Yes, we do. Same, Charles. I haven't seen it either. My 9th is The Wicker Man, dull as hell and disjointed. So my number 9. Okay, this one would have been a lot higher, but number 9 for me is 2009's made-for-TV Children of the Corn.
That's a thing?
Yes, I would have had this higher. It's god awful.
It really is.
It's a made-for-TV movie.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
You couldn't, that's why I didn't have it higher on the list, but there's a lot of child sex.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of
weird amount of child sex. Fucked up about
children watching the said child sex. It's very disgusting. It's very unnerving. It's
odd
despicable.
Call.
And the acting is
any amount of child sex is
and it's bad. It's really bad. So if this had been a theatrical release, I could easily see this being number 1 because I love the original Children of the Corn, Stephen King's. I'll be honest with you, I love the first 4 Children of the Corn movies. I know people shit on them.
You are a rare breed, sir.
Huh?
You are a rare breed.
I love them. That one
It's not a
the one where they go to
common.
the-
Yeah,
I do. I dig them. So
I get it. I like the first 7 Hellraisers. I get it.
I think for me it always cuts off at 4 because I love the first 4 Hellraisers. I think they're
I don't know.
fucking
There's something
fantastic.
about. Well, that's a different conversation. But like one day we can do it.
So who started us at number 9?
I did, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I
So
just
you
said
have
my
not.
number
So
9.
you Ashley will give her number 9, and then we'll jump it back to the chat for a second.
Okay, number 9 is Black Christmas 2006 remake. So
Ooh, so you're the one that still had Billy in it.
yeah, so I
Okay.
hate the backstory of Billy. I think it's creepy and weird, and
How's-
how like he's like a dad brother, and I don't know. I didn't like any of that. I thought it was unnecessary and disgusting. And
When you see the mom just drop her robe in front.
yeah,
fucking
her 12-year-old
disgusting.
son. It just gives me the creeps. I didn't feel like any of the characters were really that great, and I didn't really care if any of them died because I didn't like.
There was definitely no Olivia Hussey
Yeah,
in the group.
no. So I just it wasn't great for me.
Right. So, all right, badass. Before we get to our number 8, Sean said he had no idea they remade Cabin Fever. Art loved the original Cabin Fever. So did we. T. Parker, the director's cut of Rob Zombie's Halloween for that unnecessary scene. I can tolerate the theatrical cut. Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
Daniel says, say what you want. Texas Chainsaw remake was good. Really? They did a TV version of Children. Yes, they did, William. And again, it's one that what it looks like to me is like they needed to make this movie to keep rights to it. So they just threw something together really quick with god awful effects. And they just tried to be too edgy with it. With, like I said, there's literal kids having sex and people around them worshiping other kids worshiping, and like it's just fucked up, man. I don't like it at all.
What an accurate.
And the acting is god awful.
That's what it is. That's what
Let's
it
get
is.
physical medias here, guys.
Yay!
Nathan says 8 is Poltergeist. Brian says, hey y'all, what's up, Brian? Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Linking, my top 3 worst horror remakes are The Fog, Black Christmas, and Day of the Dead. Now, when you say Black Christmas, do you mean 2006 or 2019? I think it was.
I mean, no, it was 2007.
Yeah, 2019. Huh, just gave away one of my choices. If someone has Texas Chainsaw Massacre on this list, we're boxing. I love you, Johnny.
Don't worry.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh.
The Human Skin, Christmas Cookies, and Black Christmas remake were unhinged. They really were dipping them in the milk and everything.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, so bad.
What? I haven't seen either of the remakes.
Linking
The Black
says
Christmas
2019,
remakes?
So I agree.
I guess 2019 wasn't really that great either.
Oh,
Like,
well-
it probably, yeah. Okay, we'll talk about it
We'll
because I'm
get
sure it's on your list.
It is. Creep, you want to get us started at number 8?
Sure. My number 8 is 2009's Night of the Demons. What a spit in the face for such a fantastic, fun film. Like in the first Night of the Demons, I feel like you watch it and it's just like, look at these sprouts having a great time, and then bad things happen. But then you watch like the one with Shannon Elizabeth and little Eddie Furlong again, and it's just like, is this like a simulate? Like, is this what aliens think is fun? Like, it's lame as fuck.
And I know how much you love the original. We've talked about this before.
I do. It's a part of my heart.
Yeah. So I definitely understand that. God damn, dude. I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
Thank you. Not enough people bring it up. And it's nice to get it on the books that I was sad about it.
So my number 8 has been talked about in the chat this way, and that is the director's cut of the 2007 Rob Zombie's Halloween. I still haven't seen the theatrical cut, so I'm going to give it a fair shake, but the scene is too much for me. I think we all know what scene I'm talking about. I don't got to go into detail, but anybody that knows me and knows Ashley knows how much sexual assault is not tolerated in my personal life, in a joke, in a movie. It's something in a chat. It's something that I find deeply disturbing. If you use that as a way to,
Try to get emotions.
yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, if you as a human being watch it and you can feel a satisfaction of this happened to you, and you can imagine you taking care of your assaulter this way, I understand it. But listen, for me personally, it's something I can't watch. I can't stomach. It's something that I cannot do. So that scene really, really broke me down. And that's one of the few times I actively rooted for Michael to do the damn thing. Do the damn thing, Michael. Make it hurt, make it painful. This is really needed right now. So, hey, Maya's here. Welcome, Maya. Everybody.
We love Maya.
Tomorrow is Maya's birthday, so be sure to wish her a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Maya.
Do you want to give us your number 8, my love?
Yeah. So my number 8 is actually Poltergeist. I just felt like it was so, I don't know, I guess unnecessary. Like they didn't take a chance. It was like almost a recopy of the original.
That's quite low to have this movie, my love.
I know.
I agree.
Poltergeist was a bummer.
In it,
Yeah.
And the actors aren't.
Dude, I was so stoked for like Poltergeist to come out because like Sam Raimi did it. I was just like, oh, this is gonna kick ass. Then when it didn't, it burned.
Yeah. I just remember when we're like in the theater and just like, what the hell was
At the
that?
end of the movie, I was like, how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah, he was mad.
I was so fucking
for a
mad.
few days.
Listen, here's a true story. My little sister, Kendra, who is, a whole lot of my heart and soul.
Her birthday's tomorrow, too.
Her birthday is also tomorrow. That's how I remember Maya's birthday so well. The thing is, my sister looks just like Heather O'Rourke in the Poltergeist movies. When we were kids, she had the long white blonde hair. She had those footy pajamas. Like, I think that's why Poltergeist was always so special to me, because that was my little sister I was watching there. And then I watched this one, and it was like someone took a shit right on my little sister right in front of me. And I was not happy that I was watching that happen.
What?
On her.
Oh, thanks for the visualization.
So that was your number 8.
Yeah.
Kylie, you want to give us your number 8?
Yeah, my number 8, you guys might be surprised it's not up higher, but that would be A Nightmare on Elm Street. And the reason why it's not up higher is because like I recognize it's terrible. I hate the leads. It's awful, but I love Katie Cassidy, and I thought she was carrying the first act of the movie. And like, roast me as you please, but I like Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy. So
no, I'm right there with you. I love him as an actor in general. He's fucking awesome in everything.
Mm-hmm. Even Robert Englund was like, he even is on record saying he thought the torch was well passed. So like, if Robert Englund can respect him, then I ask that let us try to as well.
I think the thing is like, it was an impossible job.
Absolutely.
No one could have done that job. Jackie Earle Haley did an amazing job. He was darker, and what he did that. Okay, I'm getting into it a little bit, but remember what I'm saying now. Later, what he did is what Robert Englund couldn't do. He made me hate Freddy Krueger. Robert Englund could never do that. Robert Englund, we loved Robert Englund, and we've talked about this before. Robert Englund was a child killer as Freddy Krueger. But he was on fucking Nickelodeon getting slimed and like on Doritos commercials, like, eat some Doritos. Like Jackie
in
Earle
music
Haley's
videos
would never, Jackie Earle Haley's Freddy Krueger is the monster that Robert Englund was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So there are positives to that movie. I absolutely agree. Before we get into number 7, I want to go back through the chat real quick. Sean says they remade Poltergeist. I'm about to put my drink down. Where have I been? You've been in a better place than us, my friend. You've been watching these movies. Very few horror remakes I dislike. Love Texas Chainsaw, love Nightmare, Freddy, and Halloween remakes, even though despite the flaws, love Child's Play and Evil Dead. That's fair. I love the fact that we're getting some love for these movies. Happy birthday, Maya. I'm so sorry about talking about my sister getting shit on, guys.
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean,
I'm sure she would be real thrilled.
If you knew my sister, I'm so glad she's not watching. I love Katie Cassidy as well. 7, Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 felt unnecessary and completely unforgettable. I'm gonna head out. See you. Linking. Thank you for joining. I also agree Jackie Earle Haley was the best part of that movie.
Yes.
And is Texas Chainsaw the next generation of reboot or set in an alternate universe? I personally think set in an alternate universe.
Agreed.
Thank
That's
you,
an
buddy.
interesting
I
theory.
appreciate you so much. The Jacob's Ladder remake is the absolute worst. 7, Dawn of the Dead, Nathan. Wow, I like the Dawn of the Dead remake. Before we get back into this, Linton real quick just said Poltergeist remake for number 7. I do want to remind everybody, if you are here watching Sledgehammer Horror for the first time, click that subscribe button. It really means a lot to us to have you a part of this. Make sure I have the links down here in the description for Haunted Hippie and for Video Creep. So make sure you're subscribing to their YouTubes as well. They're 2 of my best friends, but they're also 2 of the best creators out there. So make sure you're checking them out and loving what they do. So we appreciate you, and you guys being here means the world to all of us. So starting off at number 7 for me is 2013's Carrie. We talk about scene by scene and stuff like that. This one isn't so much a scene by scene, but more of a modernization, like the plug it up scene. You have them recording on their phones and putting on YouTube. But God forgive me, I can't think of her name. Who played Carrie in the newest one?
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yes. You cannot convince me that she's a fucking nerd, dude. Like, when I look at her, I'm just like, oh, yeah, right. Bullshit. Sissy, beautiful. Absolutely stunning. But Sissy played the role like that weak, timid little girl that was totally terrified and beaten down by what her mother had done to her at home. Sissy portrayed that well. And it just was not in the new one. It looked like, again, they were, and I respect the modernization because the plug it up is such a heartbreaking thing for a woman, you know, for you and for Kylie, something. And then I got little girls, you know, I couldn't imagine my daughter coming home and telling me that story, you know, and then the people put it on YouTube and everybody in the world's watching this happen to my little girl or my, you know, my wife at the time, you know, like.
I think it is a reality of how times have changed though, and how, you know, bullies and stuff you can't get away from nowadays.
And I think that's why bullying is such a harder thing now than it was when we were kids. Because when we were all kids, you know, if we were getting bullied at school, we went home and it was time for GoldenEye. It was time to get with our cousins and our friends that did care. Nowadays, through social media, YouTube, you don't get away.
Right.
Because the one escape that you may have, you go on Facebook and there's a hate page made about you. You know, so I mean, like, that's why bullying is so strong now. And that is a good message of the new one, showing how dirty it's gotten. But it was done so much better in the original. And I just am such a big fan of the original. Sissy just is amazing in the original, and that performance cannot be understated. So that's why number 7 for me is Carrie. You want to give us yours, love?
Yes. Mine is Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. So, I mean, we already talked about it. Like, no one can ever really replace Robert Englund, but I don't like how he was a not just a child killer, but he was also a pedophile. That I felt like that was unnecessary.
It was never said that he was a pedophile before.
No,
he was a child killer. He was never a pedophile. And I'm not saying it's better. Like, if you want to kill kids, that's your.
It's not better, but it just felt unnecessary
right.
to me.
If you want to kill kids, that's your business. But
I wasn't. I don't know. I didn't care for his look either. Like the way they redid him, I didn't care for that. So that's why, in comparison, I put that on my list.
I gotta be honest, I'm shocked that I thought this was gonna be number 1 for everybody. So the fact that this is so low, I love the fact this is so low so far. So
it actually it didn't even make my list.
I don't hate the movie. I don't.
Neither do I.
I don't
want to
either.
get that off right off the rip. I do not hate that movie.
I enjoy it. Like, it's a guilty pleasure, I guess, of mine. Like, it's on this list because there's a lot that's bad about it. I really love the first 30 minutes of it. That's really it.
Oh, the net cut's one of the best things in the whole Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Yes.
It's on my list.
It was?
Yeah.
It was?
Yep.
You want to give us your, what are we, number 7?
We are.
You want to give us your number 7, Kylie?
Is it my turn to start?
No,
I can't remember.
Everybody's done number 7 except for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't given my number 7. Yes. Okay. My number 7 is The Evil Dead from 2013.
You are canceled.
Okay. Please, rebuttal me and everything, but I've only watched it once and I don't really understand the appeal. Like, I guess because the original is really campy, so the new one, I honestly couldn't tell if it was trying to take a darker tone because everything came off as campy in the remake as well, which is like a good thing if it's trying to be like the original, but tonally I was very confused. I was like, am I supposed to be laughing or like what's going on? And yeah, I don't know. It was not enjoyable for me. Yeah. Sorry.
Kylie is canceled.
Michael?
Here's what I love about the Evil Dead remake. I see a lot of people in the chat also don't like it. I love how intelligent it is. It's not just a bunch of kids going to the woods to get laid and shit. What this is, you know, they're taking their sister out there to kick her of the drugs. And they're also from Detroit. Represent, whoop! And, you know, like the reason that they're going and the reason that they're staying there is because the last time she left the clinic and she overdosed and died, she had to get defibrillated to be brought back. So they can't leave because they feel like if she did that before, she should do it again. And this time she's really going to die. And I love all the old throwbacks to the original. The gore is fantastic. So, I mean, there's just so much I love about it, which, again, I'm not trying to shit on you, Kylie, because the reason we're doing this is because we all have our own opinions, and I love to hear your guys's. But that's just my opinions on why I love the remake. So,
yeah, I'm like not super big on gore. So, but I could easily see if you're somebody that loves gore, the remake would definitely impress you. Like if you haven't seen it and you like gore, definitely watch the remake.
Just
The
to
part
respond
where
to
where he brings her back, though, I'm like, really? How he stabs.
Yeah. See, this is what sucks. I got to bring this up real quick. If anything happens in any movie or TV show that's medical at all, my respiratory therapist wife points out every bad thing.
I'm like, what the hell is this?
Dude, we were watching Chucky the other day, and they're talking about the little girl. Like, she's on a ventilator, and they walk in, and she had the oxygen mask, and Ashley was like, "Oh, the ventilator hospital mask, the oxygen mask. That's the ventilator they have her on." I was like, "Damn, this is Chucky. Don't do that to me."
That's like
a nasal cannula.
A nasal whatever.
Okay.
A nasal cannula, whatever that means.
That's like anytime you see a drummer doing anything, it's like they're not.
Like that with guitar.
I'm like that with guitar.
They're not really drumming.
That's not the real chord.
Yeah.
Before we get into
respond to you,
Ashley's number
Kylie, really
6, I want to
quickly.
catch up.
Oh.
What's that?
Oh no, I wanted to respond to Kylie here. Like,
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were like confused about the tone or like what direction that you should be in. When I watched like the Evil Dead remake, there's no like confusion for me. Like I don't think that there's any breaks for it to be funny or like taken lightly. I feel like it's such a serious take, like kind of the whole way through.
Okay, that's on me. I guess like whatever, like their scare tactics and stuff, I guess maybe some of the effects just like come off as cheesy to me, so I kind of misinterpreted the intention a little bit, I think.
I love how Kylie's like, all right, guys, fine. It's
I
on
know.
me. I'm a big okay.
No, like no, I want to hear it.
It's her opinion, guys.
Right. Parker says, I actually enjoy the 2013 Carrie remake, spectacular performances from the entire cast. I agree to disagree. I respect what you're saying. My 7th choice is Texas Chainsaw 2013. Do your thing, cuz. God. I agree with this. Katie Cassidy should have played Nancy. What bums me out about this is Rooney Mara is a great actor. Like, you watch her in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and all these other things. She just didn't give a fuck about Nightmare on Elm Street, which is a bummer.
That hurt.
Yeah, it really did. I could see the Nightmare. Oh, hold on. Oops. The whole Elm Street remake was just stupid with the whole pedo thing. I agree with that. I could see the Nightmare remake. Freddy was supposed to look a bit, I'm assuming that'll continue, a bit more like a real burn victim. Yes.
Yeah, they used CGI though to like do his face instead of it being practical, and he looks like a mole rat.
We got to cancel Kylie for these takes now. Nathan says, I'm not the only one who hates the Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2013 put a new twist on the original. I'm an OG Evil Dead fan. See, now here's the thing, and I might get canceled now. Like, I think the Evil Dead remake's better than the original.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I do.
I think a lot of people think that.
No, I'm right in that camp with you.
Yeah.
I prefer Evil Dead 2. I prefer everything else Evil Dead, but the first one.
Me too. I think Evil Dead 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time. So, like, definitely better than the original. whenever everybody's like, the best sequel is The Empire Strikes Back. No, it's Terminator 2. No, it's Aliens. I'm like, fuck all
sure.
of you. It's Evil Dead 2. That's what it is.
When it comes to Evil Dead,
pretty sure the
honestly,
original
my
Evil Dead
favorite thing was
series was
Ash
just
versus
wrong
Evil
way.
Dead. I think that's the perfect pocket.
I haven't seen
Yes.
either of those.
It's so good. So good.
You're missing out. Did an Audition remake yet, or have they? I haven't heard anything about an Audition remake.
I hope they don't.
Yeah.
I kind of hope they do.
Well, why? Why? You just said that you don't like you.
Well, I didn't say I need an American remake of it.
That is true. You didn't say that. That's true. That's true.
I watched Insidious the first time a few weeks ago. I don't see the hype. It was good. Maybe for the time it was horrifying, but I find it tame. What I love about Insidious is it just gets in your brain. It's a PG-13 horror movie, and it has one of my favorite jump scares of all time. So that's what I do love about it. And I don't like jump scares. I'm not a jump scare guy. They piss me off. But that one in there was super effective. The Hills Have Eyes. I have a feeling we may talk about that. J-Dev's in here with a Scream 2. Every time, J-Dev. No, he loves it. J-Dev fucking loves Scream 2. Evil Dead is awesome. So we are now up to number 6, and that will be you starting that, my love.
Okay, so speaking of Hills Have Eyes, the Hills Have Eyes remake, I felt was unnecessary as well. And I felt like they just wanted to be really disgusting and like want you to, I don't know, I felt like that's the whole point of it, is to be like torture porn or whatever. I don't know. I don't like the rape scene, and yeah, I didn't care for it.
I do want to say that we walked out of that movie. We didn't finish it. We were watching it in the cinema. That scene was extensive and way overdrawn, and we got up and left, and we got our money back, and we went and probably got high and ate Taco Bell or something back in those days. Back in those, that was pre us having kids days. So we're a little more responsible now. We have to be, but I really miss smoking weed. But the thing is, I did not put that movie on my list just because, one, it would be unfair of me to do so because I didn't finish it, and two, I don't want to give it any type of recognition. I fucking, that scene really bummed me out. Like, it really, to the point where we left. Like, I was like, I can't do this, babe. And she was like, me neither. Let's go. Yeah. And we got up and left. Like, that type of torture, you're doing worse than murder at that point. And it's not something I can support and give my money to and pretend like I'm okay with it. So
yeah,
I hate to sound like a broken record, guys, but that's just something that with me, you'll never ever hear me talk about how I like it. So, or how I can tolerate it. You can do it tastefully where you don't show 25 minutes of someone brutally getting tortured.
Well, like in the original, like they didn't actually rape her. They got interrupted.
Yeah.
And like they were like, I mean, it's not okay. They're like funneling her, but they didn't actually like.
You're like, look, they just assaulted her.
They
okay?
just assaulted her. Okay.
Let's give those demon monster inbred some credit.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I back your camp completely.
Feel uncomfortable.
What, Creep?
No, I back your camp completely with like Hills Have Eyes. I think the best part about it is that Laura Ortiz is in it from Holliston. Like that's the only thing I could give that movie.
See, I would try to watch it again if I could. In the movie theater, you can't fast forward through parts that upset you.
Yeah.
But I'm also not going to go buy it and spend money to give to something I don't agree with. So maybe someday, who knows? What is this, number 6?
Yes.
Kylie, you want to give us your number 6?
Yeah, my number 6 has been mentioned already. That would be Cabin Fever from 2016. I only got like 30 minutes into it because, again, it felt like an exact like replica of the original pretty much, but just dumber. A lot of it was just played up for comedy that wasn't funny. And I also don't understand why it exists. It came out like only 14 years after the original. And it was also written by Eli Roth. Okay, just don't understand its existence. That's pretty much it.
That's another one.
Yeah.
So Creep, you want to give us yours? I want to watch this movie now, but I can't.
Wait, Cabin Fever?
Yeah.
It's just like the original. I mean, if you want to watch Cabin Fever, just watch the original. Like,
I'll watch that one again.
Yeah. My number 6 was so it's this playfully it goes on my list because I consider it, but a lot of people don't consider it a horror movie. But the remake to Rocky Horror Picture Show was just disgusting. It sucks so bad to me. It felt like Glee did a Rocky Horror Picture Show episode, and that's
They
what
did.
it was. Oh, did they? I don't
They
watch
did.
No. I'm willing to bet that the Glee episode was probably better than the movie.
The remake.
At least Glee has a good reputation. Like, there's
Right.
people who like it. Yeah, no, I was thoroughly not impressed.
I didn't even know that there was a remake, honestly.
Yeah. I wish
Because no one gave a fuck about it. It was terrible. It was dog shit. Laverne Cox, though, she did a great job as Frankenfurter.
Who?
Laverne Cox, like the person, yeah.
Yeah. My number 6 is 2019's Black Christmas. Now look, I totally get this is where I'm gonna sound like a bit of a hypocrite. This one is nothing like the original. Nothing. The only thing they have in common is the name. But
And they're like a sorority.
Yeah, and it takes place in a sorority. But there's just so many things about this movie that are. I don't mind a movie with a message. I love the original Candyman. I love Night of the Living Dead. I love The People Under the Stairs. Tales from the Hood is probably in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. You can have a message, but don't beat me in the fucking face with it. Be a horror movie and then have a message. Black Christmas 2019 was just all about how men suck and women are better and men are a cancer to society. And it's just like, look, I get it, and I'm all about equal rights. I always have been, whether it's female, anything. I think everybody is equal. 2019, Ivan, that's one. 2019. But the toxic masculinity thing in this one is just so much. Like, toxic masculinity in this movie is an actual chemical. That's what it is. Like, the toxic masculinity is a chemical that's getting put into these frat boys, and I don't know. The kills weren't great. And we talked about earlier, Olivia Hussey from the original Black Christmas is one of my favorite final girls. And you want to talk about woman empowerment? This movie took place in the late 70s, early 80s. And Olivia Hussey's talking about getting an abortion, and the guy's like, "No, that's my baby." And she's like, "I don't give a fuck. This is my body. I'm gonna do what I want." Like, she was the ultimate example of a strong woman in a time where that's not supposed to. There's a line in the movie where her boyfriend's like, "Well, this is what we're gonna do," and she's like, "Whoa, I'm not changing all my plans just because your shit fell through." Like Olivia Hussey in the original Black Christmas is one of the prime examples of what a woman in horror is and what a woman in horror is set out to be. Women in horror have always been special and important since the beginning. The term final girl exists because of women in horror. And this movie just kind of almost made that a joke to me. So that was my big thing with it. It took a message and totally portrayed it the wrong way. So number 6 for me is 2019's Black Christmas. What about you, my love?
My Bloody Valentine.
Really? You didn't like that one?
So I don't hate that movie.
Okay.
But I just felt like the CGI wasn't great. And it was like a 3D.
Yeah, the 3D shit does not hold up.
I didn't care for that. And I mean, it's not a horrible movie, but compared to the original, I think the original's better.
Oh, and the original's definitely better.
So
her popping out of the dryer is one of my favorite scenes of all time. She's all burnt up in the dryer. That's awesome. So before we get to our halfway point at number 5, Kylie will be starting us off, but I want to catch up on the chat real quick. Sean says The Hills Have Eyes remake I think is okay. Not a great movie, but okay. Wes Craven, yeah. Wasn't there supposed to be another person joining us today? Yes, that is my friend Nick at the Lost River Drive-In. Unfortunately, he had some things come up, but he will be back on a future episode, I promise. Buried with Ryan Reynolds is nuts. I don't know if the chat agrees. I don't know if they do either, but I do. The ending of that movie made me very, very sad. Don't say it.
No, that movie gave me super bad anxiety. That shit freaks me out.
Have you guys seen Buried?
I've not. It's been on the list for a long time.
It's fucking fantastic, and the ending is crazy. That's all I'll say. You don't see the ending coming. It was great. Well, it's not great. Please don't. It's not great. It's great. It was well written. Let's do that. When a remake is a complete retread and does nothing new, I feel there isn't a point outside of trying to cash grab. Thank you. I completely agree. Maya says, I can't stay long and I can only think of 3 movies, but Poltergeist, Martyrs, and Psycho. Fair list. I didn't like the original Last House on the Left. Me neither. I was gonna put that too. So she was gonna put which one did you just do, Video Creep?
Rocky Horror.
Yep, she was gonna put that one. I don't know about the pedo thing with Freddie. I'm just saying I don't like him being a child killer. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They're both fucking gross, but one just is a worse image than the other, I think. Got to agree about the Rocky Horror remake. The Ring remake, Rings, is my sixth choice. See, we've seen this movie, Rings. I don't remember. Is that a remake or is it a sequel?
No, it's technically a sequel, but I feel like it's more of a reboot. Like it's not really much of a direct continuation whatsoever. It just kind of like expands on the story a bit.
I've seen it and I don't remember anything about it. Like I know we've seen it in the cinema. Yeah.
It's not great.
It's not memorable.
It's not great.
Glee AHS done a Rocky Horror Picture Show. We had to watch Schuster sing.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Which version? Yeah, I already said that. Child's Play remake will be on her list. She already did.
It was.
No interest. I imagine it's not as bad as 2006. Honestly, Sean, I think the 2019 remake of Black Christmas is worse than the 2006's on a lot of different merits. At least 2006, it is also disgusting, but at least has some dope kills, like the one going through the eyeball.
It's
like
all eyes. Like almost all the kills in it is eyeballs.
Yes. So all right. I feel the need to bring this up literally every time I hear My Bloody Valentine, but the original was filmed in my dad's home, Providence, and one of his friends said, "Oh, that's awesome!
That is awesome.
Your dad,
Canada,
Bluff." All right, so we are up now to number 5, and that will be our haunted hippie starting us off.
Okay, so my number 5 would be Halloween 2007. We've already talked about this one a little bit. For a similar reason to Sledge, but also just like there's just a lot wrong with that remake. I mean, I've done a stupid amount of videos on this, but it's just like, I'll rehash everything that's been said, but like, all the mystery of Michael was taken away. Rob Zombie just wanted to make his short film about like a case study on a psychopathic child, whatever. So he made that, and then he had to like tack on the actual remake on the end, but it just seems kind of clear like the story he wanted to tell, and then it just ended up being like a weird 2 movies in one kind of situation that was just ended up being a real disservice to the original Halloween. And I mean, the one thing I can say is like, thank you for making it very different, but also it's very similar to the original. So like, there's just a lot wrong with it.
I feel you. And like I said, I still have to watch the theatrical cut. I've never seen the theatrical cut, and I feel like it would be a disservice for me to really, really go hardcore bashing on this movie. That's why I made it clear I'm talking about the director's cut, because that's the only version I've seen.
Theatrical cut is, I mean, it's better. It's a lot less traumatizing, but that's really the only thing that's super different about it. Like the pacing is a little bit better because it's about 10 minutes shorter, but I mean, it's pretty much the same. It just excluding that scene. So
that scene really took me out of it. So maybe it'll help a little bit.
Yeah.
It's so weird how, like, I don't know. I won't get into it. That's just too much. But Creep, you want to give us yours?
My number 5. Okay, so my number 5 is the Stepfather. I was a big fan of the first Stepfather and the second Stepfather. I didn't love Stepfather 3, but like I love those movies. There's something about, like, I don't know if there's any Lost fans in the house, but like John Locke playing fucking the Stepfather in those first 2 movies, just he has this weird confidence in his manipulation and in the way that like he's able to kind of go into these houses, and it's like low-key a home invasion film, because like this guy, he's coming in, and then with the remake it just kind of took out all of that air. Like there's a real suffocating tension when you watch those first few Stepfather films, and then when you watch the remake it's kind of like, oh, I can breathe, and I probably shouldn't be able to.
Right. Yeah, when you take the anxiety out of it, that's the big issue I have between Candyman and Candyman 2021, which I made clear at the beginning that will not be on here because to me that's a sequel, not a remake. But there was no fear in Candyman 2021. I didn't have Tony Todd in a parking garage going, like haunting my nightmares forever. So I get completely what you're saying there, brother.
No.
My number 5, which people will probably be surprised isn't higher on my list, is 2010's Nightmare on Elm Street. This is a movie that I enjoy. I have fun with this movie, but the problem with a movie like a Nightmare on Elm Street, which I've already top 3 practical effect movies, and you take all those beautiful practical effects and you make them shitty looking CGI, that really bums me out. The 2 other ones that I would put on this list would be American Werewolf in Paris, which is a sequel and not a remake, and The Thing, which is a prequel, not a remake. But those are 2 for the exact same reason. There are redeeming qualities in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Like I said, I love the throat slit. I think that's one of the best. I think the ending of this film is the best one in the whole Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. That's the one thing about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise has always lacked, is the third act is usually garbage. It usually ends really shitty in a Nightmare on Elm Street film. This one didn't. And I love the idea of the micronaps. I think the micronaps idea is super dope. Like, you can't stay awake to beat him. You know, eventually your body's gonna shut down. And then if another thing, I would have loved it if Fred Krueger was innocent. If he wasn't, like how they had that angle of maybe he didn't do it, and the kids were like, "What if he didn't do this? What if he didn't?" And that's the reason he's coming back now. Like, you took my life, now I'm really gonna take your kids. That idea. Really, I was very excited while we were watching this. Like, that's fucking brilliant. And then they're like, "Oh, look, he was touching us. Look, here's a picture." Like, no, damn it, Fred, fuck you.
No, I also like that idea. I think that would have been a way more compelling route for us to take if he didn't do it. He was just an innocent dude who's now scorned.
Right. And what we were talking about, I want to touch on it again. Jackie Earle Haley's performance. He was giving an impossible task. Michael Myers has always been Michael Myers. Jason Voorhees has always been Jason Voorhees, but it's always been a different person under that mask. Freddy Krueger was always Robert Englund, and it was Robert Englund the whole time. Right. So, and we all love Robert Englund. Even in the Freddy movies, you're always like, "Oh, this guy's the shit." You never felt that way with Jackie Earle Haley because he did his job. He was dark, he was scary, he was evil, he was disgusting, and you fucking despised him. So he did the job he was supposed to do as Freddy Krueger. And a lot of people dislike this movie for that because he's not the charismatic, enjoyable pedophile killer that Robert Englund was. You know, like, and we're not supposed to like this guy. He's supposed to be the villain. And Jackie Earle Haley made you hate him. He made you realize this guy's evil and I fucking hate him. So that's why it's not, I've always bashed this movie, but now I really go into this. I have a lot of friends that very much enjoy this movie. So I really went in and I watched it with a total open mind. And I did find some redeeming qualities that I was in the group that was always like, "Oh, you know, Robert Englund, blah, 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 blah." And yes, Robert Englund is a much better Freddy Krueger because he started it. He has the charisma. But Jackie Earle Haley fucking nailed it. He did such a good job. And he did what Robert Englund couldn't do. And that was make us hate Freddy Krueger. So that's my number 5.
I think I just want to point out, I think the best example of that is like, because one of my favorite lines, I think, is from part 4, when he's like, "How's this for a wet dream?" And they're like in a water bed, like it's actually a bed full of water. And I'm like, it's funny. And then in the remake, they use the same line in a completely different context. And the way he delivers it, he's like, "How's this for a wet dream?" And I'm like,
yeah. Or even the part where he's like, "What do you want to play?" And she's like, "Fuck you." And he's like, "Ooh, sounds nice." It sounds fun.
It's like the low gravelly. I want to.
What Robert Englund couldn't do and made us hate the man, the child murderer that we all love in Freddy Krueger. Yeah. Before we get to our number 4s, which I believe Kylie will be starting. People will be starting. I want to catch up on the chat. You did your number 5, right?
I did.
Baby?
Yes.
Okay.
I started.
Linton says 5 for him is Quarantine. MGK's song was better than the My Bloody Valentine remake. Look, I can't fuck with MGK, man. First off,
seriously,
he attacked Detroit. He attacked my man Eminem.
Here we go.
I know the ball's been rolling out, and then he goes back with Corey Taylor from Slipknot. Dude, what's next? He's gonna quit rock and go to country and have beef with fucking Garth Brooks.
I don't think he could. I think he left him out.
Yeah, he's gonna go to country and be like, "Garth Brooks got shit on his boobs," and like it's gonna cause a whole country war now. So I can't fuck with MGK, but I love that. That's awesome. Buried is a must see. I agree. Daniel says Wailing, Korean horror film, top 20 of all time. I have not seen it. Have you guys seen it?
No, I own it though. It's been on my list.
Daniel, is it streaming anywhere? If you know, I'd like to check it out. JL says, "Hey, yo, just got here. Anybody fall out of the chair yet?" I almost did a couple times, but Jay is here. What's up, buddy? We're glad you're here. Am I the only fan of Rob Zombie's Halloween? No, I know plenty of people that fucking adore it.
There's definitely a cult following.
Yeah. Nathan, Wrong Turn 2021. Wow,
Ooh,
man,
that's a good one.
I respect it, but I love Wrong Turn 20. I'm biased, man. Some of my friends were in the movie.
Yeah.
You know, Cheney Morrow, Damien Maffei. Like, I had friends of mine that were in the film, so maybe I had, some,
Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah, I did.
Friend goggles.
I totally had friend goggles on for that movie, so maybe that's why. Maya's got to head out. Hey,
Bye,
Maya,
Maya.
have a wonderful birthday tomorrow. I hope you get everything you ever wanted.
Oh.
Rob says Halloween 2007 gave us too much exposition. I agree, and I think Kylie touched on that too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want Freddy to kill somebody and go, "I'm not bad, I'm misunderstood." Huh!
Yeah.
He's fucking evil. That's it. I don't care about his upbringing. He's just an evil guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
The breakfast makes me want to puke. Yeah. Come over there and skull. Fuck you.
Is it a Rob Zombie film though? If it doesn't have something like that,
I can't wait for the monsters. I will skull. Fuck you. That was Dracula, by the way. And Tana says, "I also love Rob Zombie's Halloween." All right, we got some love for Taco, video creep.
Taco.
Is he still there?
Yeah, she's like right over there. My dad has like anxiety, like fucking if I dip out, like she was sleeping, so I snuck away. But like,
Brad Dourif was amazing in Rob Zombie's Halloween movies,
Mm-hmm.
and in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 especially, he gives one of the best performances when he breaks down these crying, wow, what an amazing scene. J Dev says, "Love Lost."
all right.
Hey, Maya says, "Bruh, I love the Stepfather remake." Hey, Born to Be Rad. Hey, what's up, buddy? Taco's getting some more love. Man, I really appreciate you guys in the chat. I promise you, I'm trying to stay up on it. So if I miss some, I'm so sorry. Jay just caught us up and said, "Carrie, It." Ooh, It chapter 1 or 2, or do you consider them a whole film like I do? Texas Chainsaw, Friday 13th, The Shining, My Bloody Valentine, Nightmare on Elm Street, Wrong Turn, The Fog, The Thing.
Do they mean the prequel? They might mean the prequel.
Probably the prequel, not the 80s one.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are starting with video creep at number 4.
So my number 4 is The Fog, like from 2005. I didn't like it. It's the number one thing that I don't like about horror movies when I dislike one, and it's when there's this implication of horror or terror without actually delivering any of the scary things that should be horrific or scary. The Fog was just that right across the board. It felt like, it felt like homework. Like fucking the teacher was like, "You have to do this today." And I was like, all right, fine. Cool.
Damn, I haven't seen the original or the remake. Is the original good at least?
Original's fun.
The original Fog is fantastic.
Okay.
My number 4 hasn't been brought up yet, and that is 2011's Fright Night. Now, I think the big thing for me is, and I don't want to annoy everybody with my backstory here, but the original Fright Night is a movie I quote even to this day often. "Oh, you're so cool, Brewster." "Mother says dinner is in the oven." Like, these are things that, like, that movie is so close to my heart in those aspects. And look, I love McLovin, but he was no Evil Ed. And even Colin Farrell is no Chris Sarandon.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at Chris Sarandon's eyes throughout all of Fright Night, he's so romantic, and like, it's weird saying that, but he has that when they're in the nightclub, he's just got that look on, that romantic look on his face that I've been practicing in the mirror for 35 years.
You almost got it.
It's like my blue steel. I can't turn left, but I can't do the Chris Sarandon.
Zoolander.
It's just one of those things where, and I don't know, it didn't feel right to me. Like, the whole movie, there was always just something off and something I didn't enjoy. And the practical effects of the original Fright Night are so fun. Like, the whole beat down in the club, I think, is great. Evil Ed with the cross on his head everything about that movie. is just fantastic. We love the original Fright Night, so I had to have that remake on here just because I am not a fan of that film at all. So, you want to give us your number 4, my love?
Yeah.
Well,
so
hang on. If I could just concede here for a second.
Yeah.
So, all right, Fright Night is within my top 5 favorite horror movies of all time. Love Fright Night. It's for sure fucking my favorite vampire film of all time.
Yeah.
I will say, walking away from the Fright Night remake, I did feel satiated. I was like, I didn't feel like they like perturbed the original like some of the others on this list. Like I found a lot of enjoyment in the remake. Like I wouldn't even think to put it on my list. I liked it so much. So to even hear these words, it's like, that's sad. I see what you're saying. I completely do. Because like another one of those is like Night of the Creeps. I don't think that you can remake that movie and it still have that fun that the original had, like Fright Night does. But I did enjoy I did like the remake.
I hope you enjoy hanging out with Dave Chappelle in Canceled World.
Oh no. Right, I'm in good company, all right?
No, and again, I get it, man. Like I said, I'm probably being really shitty towards the Fright Night remake because maybe if I went into it with a more open mind, I went into the Fright Night remake looking for the original. You know, I was looking for that Evil Ed delivery. You know, like, and it just obviously didn't add up to that. So I should probably watch it again with an open mind. But it's just
I think you should. I think you should. But again, like I also have those movies. Like I said, like Night of the Creeps, Monster Squad, fucking Brain Scan. Like these are movies that I just can't imagine someone making better than the original. So why even entertain it?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Could you imagine them trying to do a Monster Squad today?
I actually have an awesome idea for Monster Squad that would rock, but like it'll never happen. Like I want to see like Slasher Squad, like they're older, but they have to fight like Freddy and Michael and Chucky, and like it would never happen. But like
that would be dope.
To dream, that would be
dope as hell.
Yeah, Slasher Squad. I have it all written up.
Producer, I'm funding.
Hey, I mean, I can see that you have the passion, and that's what we need on this project. You know.
Yeah.
Kylie's over there like, shut the fuck up, you idiots.
I can't speak on it because I haven't seen it.
Oh, that's why it's not on your list.
It's fun. It's like movies for fucking horror people.
Okay.
Give your number 4, baby.
Yeah. So it's already been mentioned, and for the same reasons as Psycho. It just felt pointless. What was the point of play-by-play?
Yeah.
And
with worst acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you, baby.
So, I mean, I don't have any more to go into it besides that. Like, you guys have already.
You're so pretty.
Okay.
Thank you. Just watching you, I'm like, oh God, I want to sleep with her.
Oh my God. I'm blushing.
Spoiler alert, guys, we're married. I've done something right. Kylie, you want to give us your number 4?
Yeah, so my number 4, I don't know if this is technically qualified as horror, but there are a lot of horror elements. And it's also a remake of a classic monster movie, and that would be The Mummy from 2017 with Tom Cruise.
Oh, I thought you meant the Brendan Fraser one, and I was about to pass out.
No.
I was like strapping in. I was like, where are we going with that?
No. The 2017 movie. I think like I can't really remember too much from that, except for the fact that like I think the only redeeming part of it was Jake Johnson, but he did not belong there at all. Like completely threw off the tone of the movie, even though he's hilarious. But I think I'll just let it speak for itself that they wanted to kind of like revamp the classic Universal monster movies, so they kicked it off with The Mummy, and it was so bad that now it's crickets. The plans are canceled. Like it was so bad. It was so bad.
We didn't watch that one either, and I think it's because Tom Cruise, I don't like him. Like I don't care about his personality, his Scientology, whatever. Tom Cruise to me is the same exact character in every single movie, and it's a character I want to punch in the face every single time I watch him. Like I just don't like him as an actor, so I don't want to watch any movies that he's in. But
it's fair.
God, my heart still hurts because I thought you were gonna say the Brendan Fraser mummy.
Oh
I'm
no.
like, no, I fucking love it.
No, have you not seen my shirt? It literally has I have a shirt
Yes.
with Brendan Fraser's face on it, and it says the mummy, more like the daddy.
I forgot it. You did have that on Instagram at one point, but like, yeah, it just
Yeah.
totally scared me because
Mhm.
I loved it so much. So real quick, video creep. You haven't given us yours yet, have you?
Oh no, I started it.
Started.
Yep. Okay, so now real quick, we are going to go through the chat. John, has anyone seen the Terror Train remake, Train, with Thora Birch? I have not. I didn't even know that existed. I love Thora Birch. She's the little girl in Hocus Pocus. I would love to see that.
Huh.
The original Fog was a nice slow burn. Nathan, 4 for me is Child's Play, and I said Fright Night 2011 is my number 9. I must have missed that one, Nathan. Thank you for bringing that back up, and I'm glad that we think alike there. We, however, do not on Child's Play, my good friend. Wailing is crazy good. Best possession movie since The Exorcist. Wow. You guys are getting me excited to watch this.
Me too. Korean horror is really good.
It really is. It really is.
They're just really scary.
Fright Night, I have not seen in years. Colin Farrell was decent in it. Agree, though, Fright Night 1980s is better, but never been one of my favorites. That's fair. Antonis, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that so much. We both do. Every penny that comes into Sledgehammer Horror goes back out into Sledgehammer Horror. So thank you, my friend. If you could ignore the CGI in the Elm Street remake, would you say it's in your top 5? If they used practical effects instead of CGI, it wouldn't even be in my top 10, buddy. That really is one of the things that bothers me. Because I'll tell you this. When they have the scene in the original where they press their face, she hears me bitch about this all the time. When they press their face into the wall on the spandex, and then you look at it in the original or in the remake, and it's all the CGI shit. It looks god awful.
It really.
And like I said, I'll say this till the day I die: the remake, the ending is so much better than the original with that dumb fucking Freddy car and the mom going through the blow up doll. Like the remake's ending is so much better. So Antonis, I will say, if they did not use the shitty CGI that they had used in that film, this wouldn't even be in my top 10. Not even close. Shame says number 4, Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Well, I love Jackie Earle Haley's Freddy. It's hard on my list because my girl Katie Cassidy was killed in the first 30 minutes. She should have been Nancy. I think we all agree on that. She was fantastic. Carrie remake, the 2002 TV series. I saw the original Friday Night in theater. I'm that old and loved it. I also like the remake. I've been canceled before. I'll be canceled. I'm jealous, Sean. I would have loved to have seen Fright Night in the theater. That would be in my top 5 movies I wish I could have experienced in the theater. Because I guarantee you, I'd have been laughing my ass off at Evil Ed the whole time. That guy's a fucking national treasure.
You and Josh would have been.
Oh, we would have been. Me and Josh Miller would have been living the dream. I got prequels and remakes mixed up for a second, though. Okay, so he was talking about the Thing prequel. You guys were right. Good job, Jay. No, and again, we said this at the top, Jay. I personally left reboots off at like sequels and stuff like that. But if you want to add those to your list, that's perfectly acceptable because they can be exactly, like The Thing. I thought it was a remake until the end. I was like, man, they really. And then you get to the end, you're like, oh, that was actually a badass ending. But again, CGI over top of one of the best practical movies of all time. Can't fuck with it. I think John Carpenter's Vampires is a better vampire movie than Fright Night. I've never seen John Carpenter's Vampires.
Haven't either. I just recently watched John Carpenter's Village of the Damned. Speaking of remakes,
I love that movie.
Okay, I really liked it. People kind of shit on it though.
So good.
I like it a lot.
People shit on it, but it's awesome.
Yeah, it's not rated very highly.
Yeah, Christopher Reeves is fantastic in that movie.
I thought it was really good. I give it 4 stars.
About the remake. Antonis, I appreciate you so much, buddy. I'm sorry it took me so long to catch up, man, but I promise I always will. Antonis is not only a fan, but he's a good friend of mine, and we talk almost every day, dude. I appreciate you so much, buddy. The Mummy Scientology edition.
Yeah.
T. Parker said the same thing. He thought you were going to say the 1999 Mummy with Brendan Fraser. I was like, no. It's really too bad about the Mummy because Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll would have been a great. You know what? I think that they might still do this because look at what the Invisible Man just did. Lee Whannell's The Invisible Man. I think that could really kick off a whole new Universal Monsters. I've been begging, she knows, for the last 15 years for a Creature from the Black Lagoon remake. I would love to see a Creature from the Black Lagoon done now. You want to talk about romance? Like, that to me is one of the most sweet romantic movies. Like, that's up on par with Candyman on how romantic and sweet of a love story that truly is for like, oh man.
Well, to me, I think that The Shape of Water is almost a Creature of the Black Lagoon remake
I
because
can
like
see
that's
that.
that's what it was based off of. Guillermo del Toro loves the original. It was pretty similar, honestly. I don't know if you've seen it, but
Yeah, we liked it. And Guillermo del Toro is great. We just watched Antlers, and I think it was fantastic.
Oh,
I know
I
that's
love
getting mixed
Antlers.
reviews, but we loved
Oh.
that one.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, you gotta
Have you
I
seen it,
haven't
Michael?
really heard good things.
I have not, but it's on the list.
Dude, please check it out. I think you guys will really like it. It's got the one dingo in it, which is, as we all know, the creature from Pet Sematary that brings everything back. So I love that little tie-in connection there. J Dev says, I really like Collateral with Tom Cruise. Never seen it because Tom Cruise. Ju-on The Grudge is better than The Grudge. I can't disagree there. But I do like the American Grudge, the original one with Sarah Michelle Gellar, a whole lot. James Woods as a vampire and John Carpenter's Vampires is freaking awesome. See, I'm going to have to watch this movie. I'm glad you guys liked the Children remake. Yes, Christopher Reeves was really good in Children of the Damned. Absolutely. Never seen Vampires. Watch it. I admit the middle part drags, but James Woods is awesome. We're gonna watch this. No, man, we can't find it anywhere. If you can find a place where this is streaming, I will get the streaming service so I can watch it.
Antrim, it used to be on Tubi. I don't know if it still is, but Tubi's free. So
Yeah.
Okay.
We have like every friggin'.
Yeah, we have like every single one, but we can't find it. I will look on Tubi. I don't think
look
we
on
looked
Tubi,
there.
yeah.
So now we are up to what, number 3?
Number 3.
All right, my number 3 has been talked about. It is from 2006. It involves a bunch of bees in a cage, on a cage, and that is The Wicker Man. Again, the original Wicker Man is such a brilliant idea, and the execution of the original Wicker Man, that ending fucked me up as a kid. Like that really got me. And it's almost, we're talking about the Universal monsters, the burning is almost a throwback to Frankenstein's monster's death. And it's one of those things, not the bees. Yes. Yes. Not the bees. It's just, I don't know. It really bums me out just because it's comedic, and it's not, the original Wicker Man was not comedic whatsoever. So I don't know. For me, the Wicker Man, I'd be, doing myself a great disservice if I didn't include this on the list. So for me, it has to be the Wicker Man. What about you? What's your bronze medal, my love?
And number 3 for me is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. I guess I didn't hate it, but I felt like a lot of the actors were like at the beginning of their careers, and they were kind of dull. And like the original, it had so many cool shots, like where she's walking up to the door, and like that shot's really awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I just felt like the remake didn't have like those shots in it, like the original did. So I like the original over the remake on that one.
Yeah, I can see that. You know what? That was the one that was an honorable mention that I took off and put back on and took off.
Yeah.
Because I feel the same way. It has redeeming qualities, but I do not like that remake. So.
And you can tell from the beginning that Jessica Biel is going to be the final girl.
Yeah, she's never in jeopardy.
Yeah.
She is no Sally Hardesty, I must say.
Yeah, not at all.
All right, I will say, like, I'm so biased when it comes to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, Leatherface can do no wrong. Like, I have this motherfucker right here. Like, he can do no wrong. I love every installment in the TCM universe. Like, Leatherface, I'm a little weird on, but like everything else, like I'm a big fan. So even the remake, like, and I thought Jessica Biel was fucking sexy as shit in that movie.
Oh, I mean,
I thought she was good. I think she's kind of an underrated final girl. She was really crafty. She was very smart.
I agree.
Jump starting cars and stuff.
Is when Leatherface actually takes her boyfriend's face and puts it on.
Yeah, that's
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like I thought that was dope as hell. Like to see him walk out with that face on, I thought that was cool as hell. And I do got to say real quick, one thing I wanted to point out, and I forgot to say it when I was talking about the Wicker Man. Christopher Lee did that movie for free because he loved the idea so much. He did not earn one penny while they were filming the movie The Wicker Man because he liked the idea of the movie so much. The original. Like, he loved the idea and the script so much, he said that he would do the movie for free. And that's fucking phenomenal to me.
Wow.
So, Kylie, you want to give us your bronze medal?
Okay, my number three. This is a brand new thing, and I'm breaking the rules a little bit because this is a TV show, and I disliked it so much. It's the new I Know What You Did Last Summer remake TV show. So I thought that it started out fine. I don't know if you guys have seen the MTV Scream show where it's just like it's cheesy, like that's what it is. It's a teen show. The ending is terrible. The killer reveal is awful. One of my least favorite things is just that it's like overly written for teenagers. So like they just have these weird catchphrases. Like they always go T. Like, and that's just not like it's not something that kids actually say. It's very, very weird. It's really off-putting. The acting is awful, except for like the lead. She's pretty good, but yeah, it was a real bummer. They put kind of a fresh twist on the I Know What You Did Last Summer story, which I appreciated. Like it's not all bad, but ooh, it really went down the shitter in the last couple episodes, and I'm very, very disappointed. So yep.
I got 5 minutes into that show before I was like, I don't want to do this. And then I just never returned.
No, you don't invest the time. The ending is so
Amazon,
disappointing.
I was gonna say we have it on our list. We just haven't had time.
Not anymore. We don't.
Check that out.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be a show for you guys.
No,
Yeah.
probably not.
Especially if there's annoying teenagers, you'll be like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, I'm the get off my lawn guy. I really am. I hate kids.
It's very teen vibe heavy.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Video creep, Michael. You want to give us your bronze medal, my friend?
So did not realize that it was a hierarchy thing. So I'll just give you the number 3 on my list. We spoke about it a bit, but mine is 2013's Carrie. I have such an immense love for Carrie. Is one of those movies that I can just watch all the way through and then like play that bitch again. Let's go. Like it's such a fucking fun film every single time. Emotionally, like Sissy Spacek just brings this vulnerability, like we spoke about already. I didn't feel that at all in the newer Carrie, and I love Chloe Grace Moretz. I think she's an awesome actress. I love her in most things. This I just didn't care.
No, and like I said, I completely agree with you, and I love her as an actress too. But you'll never convince me that this beautiful young lady is someone that's been being bullied and picked on. Sissy could play the victim. And has there ever been an antagonist we've rooted harder for in a movie than Carrie?
Right. Exactly. Like there's Sissy Spacek, it's that vulnerability. There's like this painfulness that like you share with her throughout the movie. With Chloe, it's kind of like, so you're confused. That's cool.
Right.
That's
like
figure it out.
Goes home and she's getting beat by, like mentally and physically. You feel that. Like when you go home, especially as a vulnerable teenager, that's where you're supposed to be safe. That's where you're supposed to be able to finally be yourself, and she can't even do that there. So I agree with you. That's the epitome of a fantastic movie. The original Carrie is one of Stephen King's best works. Absolutely.
I think like the way that I describe Sissy's performance is like she's this ethereal kind of alien creature that you actually buy into the fact that she's like experiencing being around humans for the first time. Where with Chloe Grace Moretz, like I don't know if you guys have all seen Twilight, but she's just giving me Bella Swan, like kind of just fish out of water, awkward, biting her lip, like what's going on around me? Oh my god! Like,
yeah,
like
she's like the girl in Not Another Teen Movie. It's like, oh my god, she has glasses and a ponytail. Paint on her overalls. Like,
yeah,
that's totally it, man, for sure. So before we get into everybody's number 2, I do want to catch up on the chat real quick. Antonis, do Haunted Hippie and Video Creep watch the Chucky TV show?
Fuck yeah, bro. I've been reviewing every episode.
Check it out. I love them. I watch them every time they go live.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've only seen like 1.5 episodes so far. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting into it, honestly. I liked the first episode, but yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it might be like I'm struggling to to enjoy the acting of it, so I'm like not quite getting into the story yet. So far the kills have been really cool, and Chucky is great as always, but like he doesn't have enough screen time, so I'm a little bit like,
just wait.
Yeah.
you know.
I kind of felt like that about the first one too.
I feel like the first 3 episodes, once we got to episode 4, she was like, okay,
Yeah.
I can fuck with this.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because it's one of my favorite franchises. I love Chucky.
Yeah, I'm a Chucky fanatic. Like Chucky is number one. I got this motherfucker chilling right here. Like that's my shit. I think the TV show is such a love letter to the fans. Every episode has like a fucking like Easter egg to one of the other movies.
Yeah, I love that about it, for sure.
Everything about it is just delicious. I'm eating it up.
I said this. This is the one thing that I'm putting this out there, guys, because this is gonna happen. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Story.
Yep. I'm a huge Child's Play 3 fan. I think everybody knows that. I think that Devin in this show is Tyler's son from Child's Play.
Really? 3. You think they're gonna do the little he doesn't have a dad, like we don't know who that is, and like no spoilers, but
his mom, who's this hardcore detective, does everything by the books, is always questioning about Chucky. Maybe she's remembering what her husband had told her about this evil good guy doll. So that's why she's so suspicious about this good guy doll that's running around everywhere. So I think eventually we're going to find out that Tyler is Devin's dad. That's how it ties in to Child's Play 3.
At least he's really hoping that's how it
I'm
ties in.
so hoping.
I really think you are. I really think you are. There's so much speculation around the show right now. Like people think that Devin is Glenn and like the teacher is Glenn. And like there's all these
I
like
heard that one. The teacher's Glenn. Yeah.
Oh my god. I have a queer kid, and you're fine with that? I'm not a monster, Jake.
Yeah, I'm not a monster, Jake. I love it. Nick Cage in a bear suit punching a woman was so entertaining to see. J-Dev canceled you. Why? What was your last one? Texas Chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw. Yeah, that's a pretty beloved one.
Well, I guess they've all been canceled.
Yeah, we've all been canceled. Marsh says, "Oh no, Ashley." Okay, just check Tubi. Okay, look, I have it written down right here. I have The Wailing and Antrim both written down. So I promise you this weekend we will watch them, Jay. The Grudge remake is number 3 for Linton. Different movies, but like Midsommar, I thought was The Wicker Man, 1970s was weird to get. You know what? And I can see the similarities between Midsommar and The Wicker Man. Yeah. Totally see the similarities there. 100%. 3 Prom Night. Holy fuck, this movie was fucking ass. I agree, Nathan. That's why I had it on my list too. The Candyman 2021 movie is the embodiment of the oppression and violence of Black culture. A fantastic film. I like it as a movie. I hate it as a horror movie. I agree. And now, see, here's the thing. Please God, don't think I'm trying to be condescending. I've never been in that situation, so I can't say how it feels for me to get pulled over by a police officer and literally be in fear of my life. I've never felt that. So this movie wasn't made for me. I'm not supposed to enjoy it on that level because I'm the person that they're talking about. Do I hate that? No, of course not. I think everybody has an avenue for their art, and I think that everybody should use that avenue. The big problems I have with the Candyman 2021 is there was no scary moments in it. It didn't have the fear. And as shallow as this sounds, I wish Nia DaCosta got more credit for that movie. I understand using Jordan Peele's name because he was a producer. He's the bigger name. But this is Nia DaCosta's Candyman. She's going to do her Marvel thing now. I really hope we get more Nia DaCosta in the horror world in the future doing some original films because Nia DaCosta, a lot of the imagery in this movie is fucking beautiful. So I would love to see Nia DaCosta do more work. Please, again, don't think I'm being condescending or I'm being hateful or anything like that. It's a good movie. I did not like it as a horror movie. I'll leave it at that. Shaim, my third choice, the most recent Grudge.
Is it a remake?
Yeah, the new one that had Harold and Kumar in it, or just Harold from Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, in 2020. That was in our the Oscars. We nominated that as one of the worst of the year.
We did. I can't wait to do that again this year.
I'm excited.
Next year,
are you doing it again? I want to do it again.
Oh, of course.
Be there.
Of course. You'll be there, of course.
Controversial opinion, but give me the Texas Chainsaw remake any day over the 1973. I respect it. Not a fantastic movie. The acting is crap, but at least the remake, I like the characters. Looks like Sean's been canceled too. Playing Sean. Almost like a CW show then. I'm assuming you're talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer. Is it like a CW type show, Kylie?
What does CW make? I don't know if I'm familiar.
Vampire Diaries.
Oh,
Supernatural.
yeah, it's very. It seems like it's really trying hard to cater to a teen audience, but the thing is, the teenagers do not act like real teenagers. It's very clear that adults wrote them.
Pandering. Yeah, I hate that
Yeah.
pandering type. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Julianne Moore's performance as the Mom and Carrie remake absolutely terrified me. You know what? Julianne Moore's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's fair. That's fair as fuck.
Agree with Vic with Video Creep. Carrie OG was freaking awesome. Her mom legit scared me as a kid. Me too. I honestly don't know why they did a remake of I Spit on Your Grave. I've never seen the original. I've never seen the remake. Have no intention to.
I gotta say, if I were you, I'd stay away from it. Doesn't seem like. Yeah.
Every friend that I've ever had in my life is like, Ken, don't.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Candyman 2021, absolutely right message, wrong genre. Perfectly worded, Jay. And I'll tell you this. I hope I'm not spoiling anything, but there's a certain scene at the end where a certain someone gets got. And everybody in our theater cheered at that moment. And we were all so stoked at that moment when that person died. And it was very awesome to watch that happen because, again, it's something I've never gone through. And I'm so sorry that people do. You know, I have kids, you know, and my kids are white, obviously, but I hate the fact that there are people out there that have kids that have to worry about sending their kids to the store and back because of what might happen to them by the people that are supposed to protect them. So watching something like that, it's very close to home. And I'm so sorry for anybody that's ever had to go through any type of profiling. I didn't like the original Candyman, so I didn't watch the remake. Wow, I've never heard anybody that didn't like the original. Good on you, Ice. Both the original and remake tested chainsaw. Okay, they just lost me. John says that's why I like the teens in Chucky. All teens are 14 to 16 years old and act like teens. I love Jake and Devin's story so far. Yeah. I think this last episode, you could ask her. I cheered in my living room at that moment when it happened.
No spoilers.
Or no, it was the episode.
You better not.
Huh?
You better not. No spoilers.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna say anything.
She's only seen one.
Right. No, that's why I'm not saying anything. But I cheered at the moment, guys. I was in my living room going, yes. So yeah. I look at Candyman 2021 as an artsy independent film with a great representation of well-done filmmaking than a horror film. Again, very fair. I just didn't think it was a good horror film. Ken, you would detest I Spit on Your Grave. Skip it. John, you know me too well. Number 2, Poltergeist remake. Complete dog shit and waste of cinema space. Hey, chat, before they get to number 1s, hit the like and sub Video Creep and Haunted Hippie. Couldn't agree more. Let's use that as a segue.
Cool,
Make sure you're liking this video, subscribing to my good friends here. And if you haven't subscribed to Sledgehammer Horror, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to try to entertain you with what we do here. So we are now up to number 2. And who makes number 2? Ashley.
Okay. You're talking about number 2 again. Are we gonna go down the list? All right.
No, that's at number 1.
Okay. My number 2 was Rob Zombie's Halloween, and Kylie pretty much touched on everything that I was gonna say. But Michael, he's my dude. Like, that's my favorite franchise. Yeah. Like, I love Michael. He's got a soft spot, and I just, for the backstory and to try to say he is the way he is because of his upbringing and everything, I hated that. Like, he's just evil from the start. Like, that's how Michael is supposed to be. And I don't know. I don't care for a lot of Rob Zombie movies either. So I guess, I don't know. It just wasn't for me.
It's just so predictable too, because like Michael isn't the boogeyman. So he's right where you expect him to be. Like, he can't just pop up anywhere. He has none of the mystique.
I've never been a huge Halloween fan, but I've always said that one of my favorite things about the original is you can't kill the boogeyman.
Right.
You know, like, and he's not the boogeyman anymore.
Right.
So that was also a big problem with it. I agree, baby. Hold on real quick. William, gotta go, guys. My dog Skippy needs his last walkie. Have a good night, William. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking care of your little puppy. We all love.
Oh my God, is that him?
Right. That's exactly.
Literally in his avatar.
Walk it out.
Oh my God.
That's so amazing.
That's
Is that him on the avatar?
I think so.
That's so awesome.
Oh, I was looking at the emoji. I was like,
Oh, he's got a little emoji just walking it down. All right, Kylie, you want to give us your number 2?
Yes, my number 2 is actually the same as Shaim because it would be the Poltergeist remake from 2015. And this is one of the only ones on my list where I adore the original so much. Like the Poltergeist might be my favorite horror movie of the 1980s. And the remake, I think, just had all of the sins that make a bad remake because it was pretty much a beat for beat remake. They used a lot of CGI. And also they just like made all the characters pretty much the same except for super unlikable. Like I think it's because they wanted the family to go through some kind of like character arcs, so they're all kind of being awful to each other in the beginning, so by the end, they like learn to love each other. But what I love about the original is like the family feels so realistic and their love for each other and whatnot, like it makes you root for them, like, you know. Whereas in the remake, I'm like, these people are annoying. Why would I care? You know?
No, that's
So
fair. So
it
fair.
does all the bad things. All the bad things.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I haven't talked about it yet. Michael, you want to give us yours?
Yeah. My so we spoke about this one. But my number 2 is gonna be Prom Night from 2008. I just you can't beat fucking number 1, you can't beat fucking Jamie LC. Like that's just
Mhm.
what was that?
No, I said you're right.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like it's not gonna happen. And then number 2, like I like that the first one is just such a straightforward slasher. Like it's just there's an ignorance in it where it's kind of fun and playful. It's just like, yep, he's just killing and getting it done. And then in the remake, there's this weird like, well, why did he kill? And we're like learning about it. I don't give a fuck. Like I don't give a single shit about any of that. If it's just a fucking beat 'em up styled slasher, then just fucking beat 'em up. I don't want to know shit.
Yeah.
Also, it's weird because if I remember, isn't the cast like somewhat stacked for the remake too? It's like I remember, I feel like there's a lot of A-list, if not like a lot of B-list actors in that movie as well. And so it's just like a waste of talent in that movie. I think like because like Idris Elba is one of the leads of that movie.
Yeah, he's the lead detective.
Yeah. So anyway.
I don't know. I think about Prom Night and I think about just that franchise in general, and that is a franchise made for just fucking having fun. That's why it's barely linear. That's why it's barely like every sequel barely falls into the last one. Like, don't make sense of things.
Right, and it's not supposed to. That's what I loved about it too, and that's why this one made the list because it was just so garbage. Like, when I watch a slasher, I don't want to see Jason Voorhees sitting on a couch like it all started in the lake. You know, like, you go kill people, I'll connect whatever dots appear that I want to connect. So, yeah, now we need to make a movie where it's just a bunch of slashers going through therapy.
I mean,
Well, I mean, fucking, what's that movie? It's on fucking Shudder. It's kind of that. It's like a bunch of slashers. They have like an AA meeting style thing where they get together.
Isn't that called Slashers?
No. What the fuck is that movie called? It's like a comedy. I'll circle back and I'll remember, but like it's
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's so funny.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
My number 2 is number 2 because it's a piece of shit, and it's not really a piece of shit. But earlier we talked about how there was a movie in my top 3 that I do enjoy, and that's this one, and it is 2019's Pet Sematary. I thought that there are redeeming qualities to this movie, but the original is such a dark, twisted movie, and this one takes a lot of what the original did and just really, really spun it the wrong way. I don't like the Wendigo in this one. It could Wendigo fuck itself, to be honest with you, because it just didn't make. And I think the big thing is I got so excited when I seen this trailer because you see the kids walking with the masks, and I was like, oh, we're gonna get some. That's gonna be some cool shit. and that's literally all you see of them.
Mhm.
And we've talked about it before, so I can talk about it again just for a second. Ashley and I are in the middle, almost, I'd say the 3/4 of the way through writing our Pet Cemetery fan film that focuses on what those kids are in this town, and maybe there's a lot more.
Super smart.
So, and the biggest thing here, Victor.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna say Victor.
Victor in the original scared me so bad.
Yeah.
Victor Pascal scared me so bad in the original. Like when he's one of my favorite scenes in cinema history is when Lewis is walking with Rachel and Victor's there in the road, the ghost version. He's, you know, don't do it. Lewis, don't. And he's like, she just died. It'll be different this time. That is one of my favorite scenes in cinema history. And Victor has such a major part in the original. And in the remake, he's a nothing character.
Right. Fuck off.
Yeah, he's just a nothing character. And that really, really bummed me out about the remake, too. Again, there's redeeming qualities, but that really fucked with me because Victor was probably scarier to me than any horror villain growing up, besides the tall man from Phantasm. I had more nightmares about Victor than probably anybody except for the tall man. So that's what I got to say about that. Real quick before we go into our number ones, and I do want to say, because Kylie will be starting us off at number 1, if you wouldn't mind, go back through and go from 10 all the way down to number 1 for the people that joined us a little late. But before we do that, Shaim says, same Kylie, love the original, but burn that remake. I forgot about Poltergeist, Craig T. Nelson, Sam Rockwell. You're damn right. That's Coach. You better recognize. Never been crazy about Poltergeist, was good, but except for Blair Witch and The Shining, not into the whole paranormal thing. That's fair. Idris Elba and Brittany Snow are both in Prom. Yep.
Yeah.
What's one movie that hasn't had a remake you guys would like to see? Mine's Madman or The Burning. Mine is probably Sometimes They Come Back. Stephen King's film. That's one of my all-time favorite horror movies. So that would be the number 1 film I'd like to see remade. What about you, my love?
I want to see The People Under the Stairs being remade.
Yeah, that's another really good one.
Yeah.
What about you, Kylie?
There's one from the 1960s. I can't remember what year, but it's called Taste of Fear. I feel like, I mean, that one's probably kind of fallen by the wayside by now, but it's like about this girl who, I think the premise is like her father has passed away and she's wheelchair bound. So she comes back to like her family manor and then she's seeing his body everywhere. It's like popping up everywhere. And then it's gone. And it's like a psychological horror. It has a really good twist as well. It's a fun movie. And it stars Christopher Lee also.
Ew.
Did you say ew?
No, I said heyo.
Oh.
Ew. We hate him.
Oh man, are they frozen? I think they might be frozen.
Oh, I think they are.
Oh,
they're gone.
Oh,
wait, there they are.
Our internet just went out. I'm sorry. I had to switch everything over. So I'm so sorry about that, guys. A little bit of technical difficulties there, but we just lost internet here at the Sledge House. We're having a little bit of a storm here in Michigan, so I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I'll say the one that I would like to see remade. I'm a gigantic Frank Henenlotter fan. I love everything that Frank Henenlotter has made. I would love to see a 2021 basket case. I just want that.
Ooh. Yes, that would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Is the internet off? I've lost everything, guys. So if I'm out in the chat, I'm sorry, but it's telling me here that the internet's off. That's really weird. So real quick, Linton, The Fog 2005, the original Poltergeist is great. I agree. Who will play Judd in your Pet Cemetery fan film? I can't spoil too much, but this happens about 15 years after the incidents that happen in the original. So there will be no Judd Cranston in our film. There will be some knowledge of him, but that's all I want to say for now, guys. I'm so sorry. I wonder if the Pet Cemetery remakes would have been better if they didn't spoil almost everything in their trailer. That was a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick Nolte would be an amazing Judd. Absolutely. All the good stuff was spoiled in that trailer. Prom Night is number 1. My number 1 choice is Leatherface 2017, Unforgettable. I don't remember a damn thing about it. Forgot it existed. Here's my thing. They tried to throw you a curveball in that movie. I could go on about this. Me and Kylie talked about this on her chat too. the person that was the most obvious for Leatherface, just make him Leatherface. Don't try to fucking go like that. Black Christmas 2019 for Nathan, great choice. Sometimes They Come Back would be awesome. I got to agree. Shocker, Wes Craven. I would love a remake. The premise.
Oh, that's
great.
a good one.
I believe The People Under the Stairs is in the works with the same team as Candyman. Yes, it is.
It is.
I want to see a modern version of Season of the Witch with Tom Atkins coming back and John Carpenter.
Yes.
I already said I'm doing it. So I'm going to remake that movie because that movie would be fucking fantastic to remake. So, Kylie, since you will be starting us off, if you wouldn't mind, start at your honorable mentions. I don't think you had any. So start at, oh yeah, you did. So
I had a
start
couple.
at the very top and work your way down if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, so my honorable mentions were Prom Night, Child's Play from 2019, and Friday the 13th. And then, all right, so starting at number 10, that would be Psycho from 98, right, with Vince Vaughn. Number 9 would be Quarantine from 2008. And number 8 is A Nightmare on Elm Street from 2010. Number 7 is The Evil Dead from 2013. Sorry again. And number 6 is Cabin Fever 2016. 5 is Halloween 2007. 4 would be The Mummy with Tom Cruise from 2017. And number 3 would be the TV show I Know What You Did Last Summer that came out this year. Number 2 is Poltergeist from 2015. And my number 1 that I just saw for the very first time would be the straight-to-TV remake of Carrie from 2002.
So fair.
Yeah.
It was, I didn't finish it, first of all. Like because I was watching it, all the Carrie movies to study for my new video that's coming out next week. And I couldn't make it through it. I watched like the first 25 minutes. So I saw the shower scene, all the essential opening scenes and stuff. And then I skipped ahead to the prom scene, which, by the way, did you know, goes on for 32 minutes. Just the prom scene. It's because they had to pad it out to meet the like requirement for the runtime for the amount of ads or whatever in their TV slot. So it's 133 minutes long. So much about it is so pointless. And I'm not even super big on the original Carrie. Like I wouldn't even say that I really like the original, but it's very clear to me how massive of a dump this remake takes on the original. And it's woof.
Yeah. I've never seen that one, so I'm very grateful I haven't.
You don't need to. Right off the bat, like the quality of it, like you just can tell it's made for TV, and it looks like shit. It's terrible. Awful.
I respect it though. I'm not planning on watching it, and then you just sold me on the reasons I shouldn't. Michael, before we get into yours, Linton says Halloween 2 is his number 1. First 20 minutes really good. We find out it's a dream. Then Michael Myers meets a pony. Yeah.
Is that one a remake? Like, I would have put that on my list, but is that one a remake? Because I just really see it more as like a sequel to Rob Zombie's Halloween.
That's why it's not on mine, because I considered it more of a sequel than a remake.
Okay.
Sean, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and from Ashley, thank you. That means so much to us. If they ever make a Phantasm remake, I'm checking it out. Me too. 100%. It would just be weird to see a new tall man.
Oh no, he said he's checking out. And I agree with that sentiment.
Oh.
I can't imagine anyone playing Angus's role as the tall man. Like the Phantasm series is so like close to my heart. I like all 5 of those movies. Like there doesn't skip. I mean, part 3 is my favorite. But I love them all. I can't imagine them doing it again.
I like all 4 of them too.
Oh.
You don't like fucking this guy. It gets weird. I'm down for weird. I fuck with it.
How was Slumber Party Massacre remake for the Sci-Fi Channel? Awesome.
I loved it. Loved it.
Really? Oh, yes. Tiago said it was really bad, but I haven't seen it.
I liked it a lot, Tiago. Again, to each their own. I thought it was really, really close to the original ways. Female director, so I think that they really knew what they were doing. I enjoyed it.
Agreed.
I wouldn't put it in my top 10 favorite remakes, but it was well worth the watch for sure.
Agreed. I loved it, man. Like such they knew the franchise, they knew all three movies, and they threw love for all three movies in this remake. I had nothing but fun with Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah, same. What's your favorite original musical score or song in horror film? Jordan, my favorite score, it's not a horror film really, but my favorite score of all time actually is from Casper. The Casper the Ghost. That I think that score is one of the most underrated scores of all time. I mean, it's obvious to say Halloween, but I'm gonna go with another John Carpenter film that I think has a better score than Halloween actually, and that's John Carpenter's The Thing. I think that's probably when it comes to straight horror movies. My top three would probably be The Thing, Evil Dead 2, or funny enough, Creepshow. I love the score in Creepshow. So those would be mine. What about you, my love?
I really love the score in the new Halloween, but 2019. 18, yeah.
Not Halloween Kills.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean that's a good one too, but I would choose 2018 over.
I just want like a harmonic, like total version of a choir just doing the Evil Dies Tonight.
Yeah. But, I mean, it had some good. It had good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the score is one of the best things about Halloween Kills. What about you, Kylie? What's your favorite horror score?
I mean, like it's so cliche, but like I mean Halloween, but I would have to say I actually think that Halloween Kills might be the best one so far. I really, really enjoy the vocals that they put in it, like the like the kind of plays. I shouldn't. But yeah, I thought it like it was so layered, and then, but I mean Halloween 2018 does have they used a violin bow on a guitar, the brrr, like the you know
and that part, I love that. Yeah.
But another one that I feel like is really underrated is actually Coraline, which I guess you couldn't really say the score, but I think it was an original song that they wrote for Coraline. It's like this really eerie, like sort of higher pitched. It's like it sounds really beautiful. It kind of sounds like a lullaby. It's this woman that's like singing in French, but something about it is so eerie. I love it because it's like beautiful, but also just it's very off-putting. I don't know.
Real quick, fun fact. If you have a record player and you buy the Halloween Kills vinyl and you take it and you play that backwards, it's going Evil Dies Tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But, real quick though, if we're talking about original songs, to me, bar none, hands down, Pet Sematary by the Ramones is probably the best original song written for a movie of all time. Oh my God. We love that. My kids love that song. We'll get in the car and my kids will be like, can we listen to Pet Sematary? I'm like, you're goddamn right we can. Yeah. So,
all right. So
what about you, Michael?
I have to touch on a couple things. Love the Ramones. Love that fucking Pet Sematary. Awesome. But I do think what's worth being in the conversation is fucking Man Behind the Mask by Alice Cooper. Fucking he's the man behind the mask. Like fucking and he's out of control. Anyway, fucking love that. Love that. Kind of a curveball with my answer here, but I'm gonna go John Carpenter as well. But for They Live, there's just something about like this. It's like this parody of a like black and white noir detective film, but it's like drifter and homeless. Like I just love it so much. And then an honorable mention would be to Child's Play 2. Like just when I think of horror scores, I think about that, like just that classic, like dun 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 dun.
Oh yeah,
it gets me. It gets me.
Somebody mentioned Candyman. I would agree.
Candyman was great. Yep.
Oh, Candyman's a fantastic score.
Brain Scan also has an awesome score.
Which one?
Brain Scan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay says Phantasm Remake 2022. Shaquille O'Neal is the tall man instead of the spheres. He's slinging chrome basketballs. Well, if he's slinging chrome basketballs from the free throw line, he's not going to hit nobody. So we're all good to hear about Slumber Party Massacre Remake. After the Chucky series, I have changed my tone with Sci-Fi Channel. You know, no, it wasn't Sci-Fi that had Mr. Mercedes. It was Audience or some shit. But yeah, I thought they did.
Sci-Fi has been doing it for a while. Like nobody watched Channel Zero, but that was an excellent show.
Channel Zero's fucking awesome.
It was great. No one watched it, but it was fucking great.
So good. So good. Yeah. It's free on Shudder right now. If you guys haven't watched the franchise series of Channel Zero, the first 3 seasons are immaculate. They are amazing. Wasn't a big fan of the 4th season, but man, you're right. Good call on that. That was such a great show. All right, guys. So we are up to Video Creeps number 1. You want to go all the way through real quick?
All the way through. All right. So at number 10, I did Pet Cemetery, the dog shit. Number 9, Cabin Fever, Heartbreak. Number 8 is Night of the Demons. Don't even want to acknowledge it. Wait, I can't count. Number 7 actually got skipped while we were like in rotation, but I'm like a chill guy, so I didn't say anything. But my number 7 was The Omen from 2006.
You should have told me. Now I feel like a fucking asshole.
No, it's fine. We were going, man. Dude, we were going. I didn't want to fucking. But that was my number 7. My number 6 was Rocky Horror Picture Show. My number 7 was My number 5. See, I can't count. Was The Stepfather. Number 4 was The Fog. Number 3 was Carrie. Number 2 was Prom Night. And my number 1 is 1998 Psycho. You can't do that, Vince Vaughn. I'm sorry. Like, he did a great job with Freaky because he still got to be fucking funny. But I'm never going to look at Vince Vaughn and be like, that dude is menacing, let alone fucking look at Vince Vaughn and be like, that dude is Norman Bates. It's just a it's not going to happen ever. Fucking.
Non-negotiable.
Plus, I love the Psycho franchise. Like, I love all of those movies. I love
good.
They're all so good. So that is no. The only thing is about that I fucking dug was that Anne Heche. I was like kind of attracted to her in it for the first time.
Something I have to throw in here real quick, because you're talking about you can't see Vince Vaughn as menacing. The first 2 roles I ever watched Vince Vaughn in was Psycho and as the crazy ass stepdad in Domestic Disturbance. Have you ever seen that with him and John Travolta?
Mm-mm.
He's a stepdad. He's insane. He's crazy. He's a murderer.
Does he land it?
Oh, dude, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, if I went back and watched it now, maybe not. But when I first seen him doing comedic stuff, I was like, "The fuck is this guy doing? This guy's a fucking." You know what I mean? Like it was.
So it's reverse for you. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I will start with my honorable mentions and work my way up to number 1. Honorable mentions: April Fool's Day and Prom Night, both from 2008. Number 10 was 1998 Psycho. Number 9, the made-for-TV 2009 Children of the Corn. Number 8, Rob Zombie's 2007 Halloween Director's Cut. I want to make sure that that's well known. Number 7, 2013's Carrie. Number 6, 2019's Black Christmas. Number 5, 2010's Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 4, 2011 Fright Night. Number 3, 2006's The Wicker Man. Number 2, 2019's Pet Sematary. And number 1, my least favorite remake, 2015's Poltergeist. This is just, it was so upsetting and devastating to sit in that theater and watch this monstrosity play out in front of me. This is, like I talked earlier, I wanted to talk about it now, but I kind of spoke about it earlier with my little sister. Like my kid sister is one of the reasons this movie meant so much to me growing up and my sister would go to the TV and go, "They're here." And it was like a little party favor we did when we had guests over to the house. Hey, you want to see my creepy ass sister? Come here for a second. So Poltergeist
go to a negative channel and shit.
Huh?
I said you just go to a negative channel. She goes up.
Right. They're here. Oh shit, we didn't have negative channels. I had 11, 13, 24, 36, bro. That's all I could afford as a kid. Like, I could just go to any channel. But the thing about this movie, like you were saying earlier, I mean, you got scenes in the original where they're sitting there smoking weed in the bedroom. Like they're just the most chill parents. Or like they get in the argument with the neighbors with the TV remotes and shit. And it's such a fantastic horror movie to me. Which is funny because it's PG. Like we all think about the original Poltergeist, it's PG because the PG-13 rating didn't exist at the time. So the first time I had seen Poltergeist was on like channel 36 after an episode of the X-Men cartoon. Like they played Poltergeist on daytime TV. And I remember being so scared of that movie. But it's funny too, like the scene where they're like, we put this car, the ghost hunters, like we put the car on the ground and it moved 6 inches in a couple of hours. You would have never known it. They're like, oh, you're going to notice this. And they open the door, like, vinyl record spinning and shit. Then it does the hard cut to the lady just drinking her tea. She's all shaking and shit. Like, Poltergeist, the original, was so good, and this remake just does not hold a candle. We talked about the shitty CGI, and it's just forgettable. Like, there's nothing about this movie that is memorable to me. Like, when I think of Poltergeist, the remake doesn't even pop up for me. And I've talked about, I think Poltergeist as a trilogy is one of my favorite horror trilogies of all time. And I know Poltergeist 3 gets shit on a lot. I fucking love Poltergeist 3, and it's actually my favorite in the franchise. So, I mean, like, it's just, and I think another part of it is how tragic it is that Heather O'Rourke lost her life while filming Poltergeist 3. She could have been a bright star in Hollywood, and a medical misdiagnosis took her life. And, you know, they talk about the curse of Poltergeist, and people are cursed from that movie because they used real skeletons. Like, no, a woman died because she had a crazy boyfriend that beat her to death and shot her. Heather O'Rourke died because of a medical misdiagnosis. These are all tragic things. Don't blame it on a fucking movie. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You're really downplaying the tragedy that happened to these young women. So, Poltergeist remake to me has to go as number one because I was so disappointed in what I thought was an amazing opportunity to take a movie that I loved as a child and make into a, you know, something new. And it just, you know, it was dog shit. So, you want to give us your honorable mentions up to number one, my love?
I didn't have any honorable mentions, but I will.
Want to give me your number 10 up to number
Absolutely.
1, my love?
10 was The Wicker Man. 9 was Black Christmas 2006. 8 was Poltergeist. 7 was Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. 6 was The Hills Have Eyes. 5 was My Bloody Valentine. 4, Psycho. 3, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Can I guess number 1?
I know you know what it is.
I do.
So
What does it have to do with your first horror movie?
It absolutely does.
I know what it is.
So, like you said, Pet Sematary was my very first horror movie that I ever watched as a child, and it scared the shit out of me. And when we went and seen this, I was so excited for it, and what I seen it didn't live up to the original. It just wasn't what I expected.
I got up to leave the theater, and she was like, "Just leave me here for a minute."
Yeah, okay.
I need
I was like, I need some time.
I need some time.
Zelda in the original is like the scariest fucking thing ever.
Great point.
And in the new one, she didn't live up to the Zelda in the original, in
Very
my
good
opinion.
point.
And like you had already talked about,
Victor.
Yeah. He was so creepy in the original, and he was like a vital character, and he wasn't in the remake. So
I'm so pissed I didn't even think about Zelda. That's such a great point.
Yeah.
Good job. I didn't even think about that.
So it just, like, Zelda is what nightmares are made of in the original. And
never get out of bed again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Fuck that.
Yeah. And in the remake, they make it like her fault that
Zelda
died.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of shitty.
But like even in the original, like she said, I was happy she died.
Yeah.
But it wasn't her fault for using the dumbwaiter. Yeah. So that is our list, everybody. Now, before we go, if we have anybody in the chat that has any questions for Sledgehammer Horror, Haunted Hippie, or Video Creep, feel free to ask away. I'm going to catch up on the chat real quick. Rob says Damien in The Omen 2006 was less scary than Kevin McAllister in Home Alone. Hey, don't fuck with my dude Kevin. Yeah. Kevin was fear.
Somebody said
really good creep, bad guy. What was that?
Sorry. Just somebody said remake Event Horizon, and I agree wholeheartedly with that.
Did I miss that one? I'm sorry if I missed that one, guys, but yes, that would be amazing. Vince Vaughn was actually a really good creep bad guy in Domestic Disturbance. I agree with you. Fuck, forgot about April Fool's Day remake and how ass it was. Glad you mentioned it, Ken. It was bad. Great minds think alike, Ken, with Domestic Disturbance. You're right. That movie was awesome. I love that movie. My most anticipated upcoming remake is Nosferatu with Doug Jones. That is going to be awesome. Doug Jones is fantastic. So, like I said, guys, if you have any questions for us, let us know real quick. While we're waiting, I do want to remind everybody, whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching it on a replay, subscribe to Haunted Hippie, subscribe to Video Creep. They are amazing. We appreciate you guys coming on, and I hope that you gain some followers now, because not for your sake, for theirs. they're missing out by not having your content in their life right now. Real quick, it says, Sean says, you all got some new followers. Good show as always. Thank you, Sean. They appreciate it, as do I. Great stream. Awesome guests. They're fantastic. Good stuff, peeps. Just sub to your guests. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Born to be Rad. You will not, you're not going to regret it. They're awesome. Are you guys excited for Hocus Pocus 2?
Yes.
You want to take this one, babe?
You're asking these guys.
I absolutely am. I'm the #1 Hocus Pocus fan ever. Like, I love Hocus Pocus. We literally went to Salem and went and seen this.
We went to the set of Hocus Pocus 2
in Rhode Island. So yeah, I'm super excited.
And I can't say this. If you are subscribed to Sledgehammer Horror, there's this little angel in Hocus Pocus that scares the shit out of the witches.
Bless you.
Bless you. And it scares the witches. That's my friend Jordan Redmond. And we just filmed her episode of My First Horror Movie. That will be dropping here in the next couple of weeks. So good friend of ours. It's been a good friend of Ashley's for a long time. Jordan's amazing. And I've been poking Ashley to hook me up with her and get her on the show. Finally, she caved. And Jordan was an amazing guest. I can't wait for you guys to see that. What about you guys, real quick, before I move on? You guys excited for Hocus Pocus 2? Or?
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, when I saw the screenshot of like the 3 Sanderson sisters again, it was like, all right, I'm pretty sold on this. This is gonna be also just
funny. I don't know if you guys seen it, but on Instagram, I put up a meme and it had Pennywise. It was like, for 27 years, I've craved you. I've missed you.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I think of Hocus Pocus 2. It's so true.
So I want to bring up earlier, I couldn't remember the name of that movie, but I remember it now. It's a movie called Vicious Fun, and it is exactly that. Like, if you're a fan of movies like Scare Package or like Home Wrecker, like just these really fun movies on Shudder, fucking Vicious Fun is the one that you want to go toward. It's exactly that. It's an AA meeting for killers, and like, you know,
Oh my god,
craziness ensues, but it's nothing but fun.
Putting it
I
on my
have that
list.
written down here with The Wailing and Antrim. I have them all written down.
Yeah.
Will Don Mancini renew Chucky for season 2? I think Don Mancini would like to do it, and I would be absolutely shocked if the network does it because of the ratings it has.
It's doing so well. It's doing so well.
Yeah. Jay says, no question. Just wanted to thank you, as always, Ken, for having a fun and safe live stream, bro. Much love to you all. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that our live streams are considered inclusive because we want everybody to be involved. So thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm looking forward to Hocus Pocus 2. They're filming it right near my house. Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
That is so cool.
I've seen like some of the behind the scenes stuff, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, it's going to be so cool.
Yeah.
Kylie's reviews are the best. I agree. I love it. You got to watch Video Creep too. I'm not trying to shit on Kylie. Why do I keep saying Kyrie?
I don't know.
Damn it. God, we're friends. But, you know, Kylie is fucking amazing. She's super phenomenal. You got to check out Michael, too. He does amazing on his reviews as well. He keeps me coming back all the time.
I promise to make you laugh at least once.
100%. Always.
Anyone fans of American Horror Story or Dexter? If so, any thoughts? I got to take a bow on this one because I'm not into either one, really.
Oh, I like American Horror Story. I mean, I've kind of stopped enjoying American Horror Story since, like, I feel like season 5 was like the last truly good season, to be honest. I haven't watched the new one. And Dexter, I watched I think like the first season, but I wasn't super into it.
I'm super spotty with American Horror Story. I'm a big fan of Dexter, love Dexter. I haven't watched a new one yet just because I know I'm gonna want to binge the whole thing. So like I'm already doing like an episode by episode review of the Chucky show on my channel. So I didn't want to do the exact thing for Dexter, but once that's completely done, I will do like a series review of the new season.
I love the fact that our dog just came and had to get right in the shot.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, now he's looking like you called.
Me?
I do gotta say, my buddy J Dev, if he's still here in the chat, he's a Dexter fanatic, so he might have something to say about it.
Oh yeah, he did.
I actually had the privilege of meeting and talking to Doug Jones a few years back, and he brought it up. He was trying to get a Nosferatu remake. That's awesome. Doug Jones seems like such a cool dude.
He really is.
Here's J Dev. I love Dexter. So many good horror movies coming in 2022. Jeepers Creepers Reborn, Terrifier 2, Halloween Kills.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you can't forget Scream
Mhm.
5 is coming at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited for the Jeepers Creepers Reborn now that the franchise has been sold off.
No.
I've talked about that before. I couldn't support it before. Now I can go into it with an open mind. So I'm very
I mean,
happy about that.
let's be real.
What
2
is
and 3 fucking sucked anyway.
Yeah. What is Kylie's channel again? It's in the description. All you gotta do is click on the link in the description and you can sub to her channel right now. Promise you again, you won't regret it. I think Chucky was revealed to be in second place for most popular series right now under Squid Game. I think Alex Vitzen posted about it on his Insta.
Nice.
If the only thing beating you is Squid Game, you're doing something right.
Yep.
Like, period. Squid Game is it's a phenom right now. The fact that you're even up there with it, you're doing something right. And if Sci-Fi USA does not renew Child's Play, they're gonna kick themselves in the ass when someone syndicates it and brings it up.
Yeah.
All the best. You guys are gonna make some dinner and watch a new episode of Chucky. Have a great night to all of you. Shaim, thank you for joining us. You're a great friend. We appreciate you. Dexter Expert in the house. I've done 3 videos on Hocus Pocus filming locations and updates. Check them out, guys. Over at Born to Be Rad. Check out these videos.
Also, Born to Be Rad, you have
We're
an awesome name. That is such a good channel name.
So make sure you guys are checking that out. Sean says, I would lower expectations for a movie nearly 30 years after Hocus Pocus. I made that mistake with Dumb and Dumber 2 and did not like it. See, here's the thing. I didn't like Dumb and Dumber 2 on first watch. I rewatched it and I loved it. But what we got to remember is Hocus Pocus bombed when that movie came out. Like, that movie didn't make anything in the box office. Like, that movie was just garbage when it came out to people. And now look at what it's done. So I think that they have an appreciation because they know the lows that movie went through when it came out. I don't think they're taking anything for granted with the sequel. I think that this is going to be a sequel for the fans, and they're going to really, do what they can to make the people happy because they know what it feels like to be treated like shit in the box office. So I really think that they're going to be very cautious with what they're doing in Hocus Pocus 2. Just my opinion.
Agree with it.
Also, that means very little. I mean, like, I'm a huge Bill and Ted fan, and I know nobody went out of their way to see Bill and Ted 3. But man, that movie did everything that you did.
Yeah.
We love Bill and Ted.
Oh, dude, I was so worried. You know how at the end of every Bill and Ted, there's this huge emotional ending where they're just rocking and it feels fucking good. I was like, there's no way they're gonna recapture that. And then at the end of Bill and Ted 3, they totally did, and I'm just like, fuck yeah.
The only thing missing was Rufus, man.
Yeah.
My boy George Carlin.
Well, Bill and Ted 3 was one of my favorite movies of fucking in recent time. It still does everything for me.
For sure. Seeing those two back together, amazing. Love
They said they'll never do a 4, but if they did, I'd watch it.
I feel you. That's the same with Freddy versus Jason. Yeah, the movie's not great. It's Freddy and Jason.
Yeah, get with it.
It could be those two sitting in a military style bathroom where the toilets are facing each other taking a shit. And I'd watch it for an hour 45. Easy.
We've seen worse.
Yeah. If you guys have seen our list, we've seen worse. Linton says, thanks again, guys. Big ups from the UK. I followed your channels. There's another subscriber for you guys. Thank you so much. Jay does says, scream, baby. Check out Born to Be Rad's Hocus Pocus 2 videos. They are rad. We will be doing it. Haunted Hippie, good night, y'all. Stay safe. Sub to Haunted Hippie. Good job. Make sure you do that for video people as well. J Dev, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it so much. We do. It means so much. There's going to be a lot of more cool stuff coming out with Sledgehammer Horror on the monetary side, and that's because of you guys. I hate to sound like we're biting on Kylie. I even texted her to let her know, hey, Kylie, look, we're not doing this. We have a new segment coming out called Versus, where we're just taking a remake and an original, and we're putting them against each other and see what one we like better. And when I seen Kylie was doing this, I literally texted her, and I was like, listen, we're not biting on your shit. I promise you that's the last thing we would do. I just want you to know that we're doing this too. And she was chill, Kylie, I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, I literally said, even if you are copying me, get that coin, you know what I mean? We see movies really differently.
It's crazy because
my best friends is doing this, and now I'm gonna be like, oh fuck, I'm biting on her shit.
That's wild because after you guys had that, Kylie texted me and she was livid.
I know, it's fucking
leave this dumb motherfucker biting on my shit.
He's totally lying.
All jokes.
All right, Cody says, "What's up, Born to Be Rad? I can't wait for some Scream streams. You are gonna get them. I promise you. You will get a spoiler-free Scream stream and a spoiler Scream stream. God, I can't say that.
He already said
As soon as
that's
they
what-
come out.
That's what we're doing for his birthday.
Yeah. Yeah. My birthday is January 10th. The movie comes out right around then. We're hoping to get a screener. If not, we'll be in cinema the same day. I went and saw Ghostbusters Afterlife tonight, and it honestly is tied with the original. It's my favorite.
Ooh, that's so good to hear.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I want to see it so much.
I
I
love
might do
every
a comparison
Ghostbusters movie.
video.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna watch the original tonight. Actually, I'm gonna rewatch the original because
Yeah.
I might do a comparison. I'm not sure.
My thing is, like, everybody talks about the all-female cast one. I don't hate that one because it's a female cast. I didn't like that one because there was no horror to it. So please don't spoil anything, Salisbury. But is there at least some horror elements in this new one? Because that's what was missing in the female-led one for me. The comedy was great. The comedy landed perfect. But
I enjoyed that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too. I have no hate in my heart.
like I said, I enjoy it.
What's
But
her
it's
name?
just
I love her so much.
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, and again, I loved it, but it just, I liked it. But
Yeah.
for me, it's just like when I think of Ghostbusters, the first Ghostbusters I consider a horror movie. I always have. Ghostbusters 2 has horror elements when the ooze is coming out of the bathtub and when Janosch is on the bike and he grabs the baby off the balcony. Like, that shit's scary to me. But this one didn't have that, the female-led one. It didn't have any horror elements really to it. So I'm excited to see what they do with this one.
They said
Kylie's
yes.
videos are incredibly awesome, and her analysis are well detailed, and she's brutally honest with her opinions, which I respect. All true.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good news about Ghostbusters. I've watched 0 trailers, but I've got tickets for Saturday.
Nice.
Yes, there is horror. All I needed to know. I can't wait to see this. So, guys, I just want to say one last time, we appreciate you. Whether you watched this live and you chatted along with us, I'm sorry if I didn't get to everybody's comments. This has been one of the most active chats we've ever had, and it's so much fun. Thank you for joining us. We will not be doing a live next week. Thanksgiving is pretty special to me. My mother passed away a couple years ago, and that was our holiday together. So we're going to be taking next week off from lives, but the week after, we'll have some pretty special guests joining us for our top 10 creature features. I hope that you guys can come out and join us for that. So until next time, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing to my friends here. And again, you didn't do me a favor. You did yourself one. So you guys don't go anywhere. I got a couple more questions for you. Everybody else, as always, keep talking horror. Stay what you are. And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.